King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. All right. We got a special show tonight. We got a special broadcast tonight. Woo! Oh, honored to have this young man on tonight. That's right. Yes, right. Tonight, we have a special guest on tonight. We want to make sure everybody get this right. We got a special guest on tonight. Oh, yeah. Just want to remind everybody that tonight we have the one, the only Let's Talk Business, NFTs, music, and much more. Make sure you share it with a friend. Jacob York is going to be on with us tonight. Entrepreneur, real estate developer, entertainment management, and much more. I've known this brother for over 35 years. Good brother ever since I was young. So make sure you share, like you want to know the game. You want to know about business. You want to know about producing movies, all that type of stuff. This brother, we're going to go down that road. Big up to him. And of course, Ishmael, his family, Big up to the whole family that might be tuning in. The whole York family. Big up to the whole family. All right, this is my partners in vibes. Make sure you check them out. Also, they are my partners in vibes, the one, the only Sister Nujurney and Sensei Sherly. Of course, they might be coming in, they might not, but it's all good. I keep it moving anyway. Also, if you want to do a double session consultation with us, myself and Paris Williams, we tore up the place yesterday. So if you're interested in doing that, guess what? All you have to do is text the word double consultation for guidance purposes only. Remember, that is for guidance purposes only. And if you are interested, make sure you text that word double to 347-496-1022, 347-496-1022, and we will help you out. Also, if you're looking to have any health insurance throughout the New York State, tri-state area, all you have to do is contact Sensei Sherly at her email at sherlystc@gmail.com. That's sherlystc@gmail.com, and tell her King Simon sent you. Don't forget, in Stone Mountain Village, I will be doing events in the Stone Mountain Village area, so make sure you look out for that as we honor the ancestors of the land. We're going to be doing health, metaphysics, and all types of tech, wealth, all of that. Big up to my teacher, Lloyd Strayhorn. I know he's doing a show right now, but make sure you hit him up at lloyd-strayhorn.com, lloyd-strayhorn.com. Big up to my brother Rich, also, for always shouting me out. Big up to Brother Rich wherever he is. And if you want to do my course, it has stepped up another extra $100. It's $333 now, $333 now. So if you want to do my full 8-hour course, all you have to do is text me or email me at the email at the bottom of this flyer, and you can find out how to get the double link 8-hour course, and you'll learn a holistic numerovation course by yours truly, King Simon. Also, just want to remind you, family, if you want to buy any of my books, of course, no promotion is bad promotion. No, numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and Numerovation for mental stability. All you have to do is go to my link tree right now. Go to my link tree right now at King Simon the Numerovator. That's King Simon the Numerovator at link tree. If you want to do a Numerovation session with me, believe me, it will help guide you, because numerology is just a GPS. All you have to do is apply the wisdom, and it will guide you. For a appointments, please text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. Remember, I do have a waiting list, and I think I have 11 slots left in February. I'm already in February going into March, so I have 11 slots left. All right, now let me turn down the music for this one. Okay, look here. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, authors, and on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represents the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Also, don't forget, copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. So let's take it up another notch again. Here we go, family. It's your brother King Simon about to come in and enjoy the energy of the people as I come out of the backstage. Oh, baby, you know what it is. We're having a good time. Let me see. Let me check that microphone right there. Yeah, let's check it out just like that. All right, just making sure the voice is tight. Making sure. Can you hear me, family? If you can hear me clearly, please press the number 1. If you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, press the number 1 right now on your on the live chat. If you can hear me clearly, press the number 1. All right, very important that we do that. And of course, let's give all of you a round of applause. Please share, like. Okay, good. Y'all can hear me clearly. I like that. How you feeling, family? I hope everybody is doing well out here. Your brother King Simon is in the building and had a great night last night with Paris. Paris Williams is ecstatic about what we did last night and what we threw down as far as the Numerovation and the tarot spread. So people, if you are really interested in doing that double session, we're only doing it for the month of January now. The month of January is very important, all right, because this is representing the first part of the fiscal new year. Of course, we know the real actual New Year's is right around spring, but if you want to do a double spread consultation, Numerovation, and tarot, all you have to do is text the word double to 347-496-1022. It's pre-recorded. She pre-records the visual so she can show you the cards that she's dropping, and I do the audio as you give me your name and your birthday, and I drop the wisdom that you need that to give you a GPS guiding system to help you out. All right. So big up again to my partners in vibes. They might not be able to make it in tonight, but it's all good. I still love them. I love them. So let's give them a round of applause. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Oh man, but it's a wonderful thing that you have good partners that always let you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad for my partners in Vibe, these two beautiful sisters. One is my biological sister from my father's side, and then my other sister, she's a sensei and martial artist in what she do. But tonight, you know, and again, I want to remind you before I go to my brother that's in the backstage now. Tonight, just want to remind you that Lloyd Strayhorn is world-renowned astronumerologist. And his website is www.lloyd-strayhorn.com. That's www.lloyd-strayhorn.com. And if you want to get his newsletter, get his books and all that is necessary, make sure you show him some love. Spread love via Brooklyn way, via the universal way. And in Stone Mountain Village, I will be tearing up Stone Mountain Village in spring of March going into April. More than likely April, I'll be doing my stuff. And I know Brother Rich is coming out here also, but I'll be doing private stuff, private workshops and all that. I already confirmed certain people that I'm going to be dropping in Stone Mountain Village. I got 2-3 venues out there. So big up to, let me see, 5380. That's a nice venue, black owned venue. 5380 got 2 floors, got a podcast room, all that. Big up to Gems over there in Stone Mountain Village. So I'll be doing events in Stone Mountain Village coming soon in 2022, right around the spring season when I come back from Florida. So it is what it is. Now, this brother that I'm about to bring on I've known this young man for over 30 years. His father has been one of my judges, one of my teachers Also, his grandmother was one of my judges and teachers. Also, respectful to his mom and his grandmother, who treated me very well when I was younger, because I came into the community back in the day when I was 17 years of age. And when I met this young man, he was full of energy, full of vibe. He was around the music. And as a matter of fact, this brother's father was the first to record me as a reggae artist back in the day. I know the name York really rings bell around the world, because he's not only been an entrepreneur himself, but he's been into entertainment management. He's been into so much things, of course, real estate development. But I know him as the brother we used to call his dear friend, his dear brother. May he rest in peace. Yadallah. He was one of my good friends, such a good brother. And may he rest in eternal peace. This brother that I'm about to bring on is the one, the only, one of the Yoke tribe, the Empire. Big up to him, Othello, all the young ones that I knew from back in my day when I was younger, Fatima, all of them, Fatima and all the crew. I want to welcome right here for the first time on King Simon's virtual stage, the one, the only, Jacob York in the building.
Well, that was a very interesting intro.
Why is that very interesting, bro?
A lot.
I took you back.
That was a lot. It was like, the whole
spiel.
Famous,
Hey, brother. When we was younger,
I was in a boxing ring. I was like sitting there against the ropes, doing dips. That's what I felt like.
No, but that's what
brother.
Well, brother, that's that kind of energy. I remember back in the day, back on Bushwick years ago, your father said, anytime I felt sad, I should always sing. And he named me Shadi, which means singer, Shadi Abdul Muhammad back in the day. And when I left the community, I became not only a reggae artist, but a top MC at the Palladium, at SOBs, at Madison Square Garden for reggae shows, working with Beanie Man, Buju, and all these great artists. And so every time I got on stage, I made sure I put that energy behind it. And I remember one person came up to me and said, I can make a cockroach seem like they're a superstar. So
that's a hell of a talent.
But you know what it is, brother. Well, how you been? How's the family? How you been, my brother?
I've been great. Everything's great. I don't have any complaints.
That's right.
Doing what we all do every day.
No stress. That's right. We ain't stressing nothing. That's what I'm saying, brother.
Well, what's stressing gonna do for you?
Not a damn thing. That's right. And
no, I don't stress. I mean, it is what it is at this point. We're in that point in our lives where things is what it's gonna be.
It is what it's gonna be.
You get to a certain age and you're like, this is what it's going to be.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. So
there's nothing. Ain't no point in stressing. I just live it.
And what's so interesting, even when we were younger, man, in our teenage years, you was always happy and jovial, man. You used to come into the pizza parlor while I was making pizza and do my thing and have some fun. We used to just have fun. We had fun.
I have always had this this personality that doesn't, that most things didn't. I didn't stress too much, and. People might have thought that was because of some form of privilege, but it's just the way my mind works. Like, I don't stress anything I can't control.
That's right. That's right.
If I can't change it, I can't do nothing about it.
And honestly, family, from when I was knowing him since he was young, he was always this energized about. I even people would hey, Jacob, where you? Yaku, what you doing? What you doing, man? You just laugh and just keep it moving, and that's what I used to love.
I lived in my own world. That's just what it was.
You created your own world, and let's go back as far as what got you into the music business first and foremost, and why was it so important that you kept on going into it and as deep as you did for working with people like Little Kim and all the rest of the people, the great ones?
My motivation was something very interesting, right? Because coming out of working while I was in college, I was more into the marketing side of it, right? Brand building, marketing. Because I was very interested in that, and because I wanted to mostly do TV and film, right? Because obviously I was editing a lot of the content, for my dad, and editing like all the, like filming the stuff, and that was more my interest, right? Was the film, television side. But then I got into marketing because I wanted to understand branding very well, so I studied that, and I was doing that, and I was pretty successful at doing that, at branding, marketing. Then, you know, what comes with that is actually producing your own marketing events. So I was at a marketing event, and a music executive was there who was in the publishing business backstage in one of my events.
Right.
And I was talking, and he proceeded to consistently interrupt me. And he was a bit condescending in the way he spoke to me, and I was confused as to why, right? And we spoke, and so I asked him, "What do you do?" He said, "I work at, you know, MCA Publishing." The hell? So I you know, I was very confused as to why he was so self-assured, right? Like, what made you think that you were at my event? I'm 19 years old, right? I'm producing this huge event, and you're sitting backstage in my event talking to me as if you're higher up on the food chain than me, right? And that was the motivation. I said, "So you're in the music business?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, well, I'm going to get into the music business then, because I want to know why you think you're that important." And he was like, "Well, you know, read a book." You know, and that's how his attitude was.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, I mean, we're cool until me and him are cool until today.
Good, of course.
I respect him profusely, but he was the guy. He was the motivation because he challenged my ego. Because I didn't understand why he felt like he was the way he talked to me. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. But here's what it is. But I realized he was an intellectual.
Right. Okay.
Right. And so that's what I liked about him. Right. But I didn't like him at the time. It took me about 15 years to appreciate him. Interestingly enough, he had came to my office while I was at my height looking for a job. And I hired him because obviously I respected him.
Of course.
But it was interesting that was the story. But that was what got me involved in the music business was that. And then also, like, I had, you know, you have local friends, right? It's like, oh, I think I could do this. And I remember working, you know, Kenyatta Blake at Bushwick High telling me he could rap. So I was like, oh, I'll help you, you know.
Right.
So it's stuff like that. Like, I mean, knowing, you know, what do you call it?
6 Degrees.
Yeah, what's his name? No, his name was Depp. What's the guy's name that made Peach Fuzz? Him too.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that. I remember that. Yes.
Like just having all those people around and them always trying to figure out how to do things, and then obviously, you know, people like Chunky Fresh being around, and
yeah.
Like, so I've been around in my entire life, like, and I'm talking about from a successful perspective. Like, these guys successfully, like, you know, like they've, you know, they successfully released music. So, you know, Force and Lees had real hits, right? So I mean, from the perspective of people that actually were putting out hit records, and then Daddy-O, obviously, Sonic, that was a big inspiration for me, because that's who I ended up interning with to learn the music business was Daddy-O and Kadar. I interned with them to learn the music business. And Daddy-O was the perfect person to intern with because he was very gentle, but he spoke from a perspective of a creator.
Yes.
So he taught me creation, right?
Right.
And appreciation of music and understanding the studio and understanding all of that stuff. So that's what I learned from Daddy-O was like the literal appreciation of music itself at its core. Like, we can literally sit there for hours and talk about that. And then Kedar, I learned...
who happened to be one of your relatives now. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Kedar Massenberg.
Yeah, I learned from him, you know, like what BDS was, you know, when budgets and the management side of it.
Right.
What was interesting is, you know, as I was learning from him and, you know, building my own stuff, and there was a person that worked for Daddy named Victoria, who's one of my close friends till today. She explained to me the admin thing, because I'm a sponge. You know, like even with you, I'd sit there and watch y'all make pizza, and then I'll be
That's right.
So
you came back there and made it with us.
I've been back there with you, right? And I still make it till today. I still got the recipe.
Me too.
I still make the pizza. That's what I think about it. Because if I like it, I'm gonna figure out how to make it.
Right. Exactly.
So, you know, learning from him, but I mean, he was a different type of boss. As when I interned with him, I remember I made $600 a month. He paid me I was poorly paid. Like, it wasn't like he paid well, but it was an internship, so you don't expect to be paid well. I lived right up the block.
Right.
But he was the kind of boss that'd be like, go downtown and pay my light bill. Go pick up my lunch. He was that boss.
Right.
But,
you know,
that comes with territory. He'd be like, oh, you got to clean the bathroom. That was the boss he was, right?
Okay.
but that comes to the territory. It just builds character. For me personally, I wasn't really the clean the bathroom guy. There was always someone to clean the bathrooms, right? So that humbled me, right, to an extent. But about 6 months in, he came to me. He said, "It can't be two kings in one castle." That's right. I took it as a compliment, right? I was like, "Oh wow, he considers me his equal." Okay, right? And I walked off. And then my mother was like, "No, he fired you, the little asshole." What? I got fired?
Rest in peace to Dubeda. Rest in peace to your mom, Dubeda. Big up to her.
Like, the little prick fired you? I was like, he said we were both kings, and the castle wasn't big enough for both of us. Right. He said, he's fucking fired you? And I was like, yeah. Well, I didn't know what that meant because I'd never been fired. Because I never really had a job, right? So I didn't understand being fired anyway. But he fired me. Yes. And, the interesting thing is my mother had moved into a specific neighborhood, a specific location at 224 St. James. Yes. And next door just happened to be Biggie, who lived at 226 St. James. So we were both on the second floor. So we had built a relationship anyway. That was before he became like the Biggie Smalls rapper guy. So we had already knew each other, and we would sit on our back porch. I'd smoke my Newports. He'd be smoking his. Yo, you got a Newport? And we'll sit there on the back. You know how fire escapes worked?
Of course, back in Brooklyn.
His bedroom was on the back, and like my bedroom was on the back, and we would just sit on the fire escape and kick it. We got built a relationship. And I remember like they had brought him over to like Kedar's place while I was there. I'll say while I worked with Kedar, I worked with groups like Freestyle Fellowship, and I worked with groups like Dirt Nation. So I learned a lot about the business. He wasn't really the one to teach you. You just got to kind of like
pick it up.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
He was more like go pick up my laundry type thing. He wasn't like sit down and teach you, the fundamentals. Once in a while he'll have one of those conversations. I mean, he had a great personality. He was a funny guy to be around, right? Right. But he wasn't really the one to be like, what Daddy will sit you down and be like, so here's how
educate you,
like with a sense of patience. But I sat down with people. I learned. I built relationships. I learned the who's and those. So I mean, it wasn't a negative experience for me. It was a very positive experience for me. Right. I enjoyed it. After that.
Yeah, hold on. Before you go, I want to make sure people, if you're just tuning in, we're here with Jacob York, our guest. Of course, you can hit him up on IG at Jacob York. Of course, he's the chancellor of Electric Republic, curator at Electric Token NFT. We're going to be speaking about all of those. And of course, CMO at My Canna Consultant. And remember, this is his website. If you want to hit him up on the website, finding more about the NFTs and the tokens, electrictoken.io. And of course, we're going to be hitting them up. These are all the Instagrams. If you want to, of course, dealing with talent management, film, TV productions. For more information, that's submission at electricrepublic.com. You could also hit them up if you want to if you're dealing with talent management, film, and production. You got some work, you got something to show them. Be serious. You need serious inquiries because I know there's a lot of talent out there nowadays. Now, Jacob, in this business, I know it's sometimes up and down with this business. How did you stay so relevant in such a business all these years, my brother?
I think I understood brand marketing.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
But also, it's one of those things that I always pivoted and I was innovative, right? I've gotten to an age now where I'm tired of being innovative, but I was always like innovative from day one. So I never really went with the crowd. I kind of just did what worked for me, right? And so what I saw to be something that I thought was brilliant, I would do, right? Whatever I thought to be a good idea, I would do. Right. So it was never like, let me follow the crowd. Right. I never did it for the money. I never did it for the hype. I did it because I believed in it. So it just happened to consistently work that way, where I was just ahead of a trend.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's the relevance, right? Because I wasn't, and then I listen to young people. I listen to I study. I like to read. I like to study, and it's so I can see where a trend is going to come, and know how to innovate those trends, and so it's just been a constant. And then I have entrepreneurial spirits, right? So I come from a family of entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
So understanding that, I just never saw myself working for someone, right? So it was always, let me create an opportunity for myself,
right?
in which I built something, and for the people around me that I built, that we could, we can work together to do things. So it was always come up with the next innovative, right? A lot of people stay stagnant. I just don't stay stagnant. I just be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, this trend looks like that's in 3 years, this is going to be over.
Right.
Like I said, when I owned all the clubs, I knew clubs was going to go to a weird place. So I was selling. People like, why would you sell so early? Well, I'm selling at a premium, right? Right? Because I know that you got about 3 more years before that thing. I'm the guy that when I'm selling, you don't want to buy, right?
Exactly.
I'm not selling if I think there's 5 more years in this. I'm selling because I know it's not.
Right.
So, it's not like my partners or people that bought for me lose, but my threshold for where money is and theirs might have been different. So I just know when to go, when to leave. I'm not emotionally attached to a business to the point where I'm just going to stick in it. Right? Just for, some people just do it for the lifestyle. I do it because, I enjoy doing it. But at the same time, now these days I have to make sure that there's a monetization there, as opposed to when I was younger, when it was like, it's just cool to be the hip kid. Then I went into things and like, let's think about what's the smart, decision, cool decision plus financial,
Yeah, but you've been having a lot of insight for many years, man. I mean, growing up, of course, around that community, we've seen a lot of the artists, of course. We've seen Blue Magic. We've seen, of course, the Force MDs. Rest in peace to Jesse. Big up to Jesse all the time. Rest in peace to M. Tume, who I went to his house, the great M. Tume, who wrote Juicy and all the rest of the stuff that he was doing. And Bob Pickett from Kiss FM just passed on. Also, another one I used, because I was on WWRL radio back in the day when I left the community. Again, because I remember your father said at the Hall of Knowledge, he says, when you come here sick, but when you get healed, you leave and do what you're supposed to do. And sure enough, I took that to heart when I heard that personally, and I left in 3 years.
What does that mean if you're born there?
But yeah, that's kind of hard for you.
Does that apply?
But you was filming. You and Shafi was filming the thing that time when he said it. I was there. I remember this. So big up to my cousin Shafi and Ubaid and all the rest of them. But
Ubaid, what's up? Whatever happened to him?
I have his number. I talked to him like last 2 years ago. Good brother, man. Still doing business. He still got the mouth. He's still how to talk. That's my brother. He's doing big business. So in Africa too. That's my brother. So Ubaid, yeah, I'll connect y'all, man, because Ubaid is my boy.
I haven't spoken to Ubaid since like '88.
Ubaid, I spoke to him, like I said, a couple of years ago. He was looking for my cousin Sully and Duma and all them and Shafi. So when he seen me, he
was cool.
Yeah, he just got married, remarried in the Bronx. So big up to Shafi out there. He probably watching because he locked in. Yeah, and Sully and Duma is in a home now. He's getting older, so it is what it is. But the getting into this business and what we have seen, it was inevitable for those who had foresight, because I went into the business after your father recorded me, and I won. While I was in the pizza parlor, I was actually calling in on radio station, winning reggae concerts on radio. And as soon as I left, they put me on. And then I went and did a recording with Shaggy's producer Sting, and then I just went up to number 5 on the chart. So people like you was my inspiration, and people like your father, of course, was my inspiration. But you also went into real estate development also, and all of that stuff. Now,
that was my mother's business.
Oh, okay, that was mom's. I didn't even know that your mom had that business.
What do you think the community was? It was a bunch of real estate.
And that's what I wished they had taught us. Because I understood after I left, but I wished we had classes on that and not just religion. What I'm saying? I wish we had that real estate.
What's interesting is I think there was a time when there were classes on that, and then they became a whole religion, right?
Okay.
Because I remember there was a time when it was a real estate play, right? We accumulated hundreds of pieces of real estate globally. That's the value. I remember my mom always saying, "What kind of company do you think McDonald's is?" And my dad would say, "Real estate company," right? So. That's the reality. They sell real estate. Like they buy the real estate. Right. Like you want McDonald's franchise, you find a location, they buy it, they build it, they do this, they do that, they sell you this and license you that. So they own more real estate, right?
That's right.
So that's the most interesting part of that. So yeah, we understood that to be the business. So that wasn't outside of what I've ever done, right? So it wasn't abnormal, because when did we not have a construction project?
That's true. That is true. That is true.
There was always acquisitions and building.
That's right.
We did that very consistently.
Mm-hmm. That's true. No, I remember. growing up.
Just most people didn't pay attention. It
Yes.
wasn't like we had a store in someone else's building.
Nope. Yeah, I had this.
We just managed to figure out how to use we bought the property and we figured out how to multiply use it and give it multiple values. That was the most, so it paid for itself.
Now, before we move on to what other stuff you do from that point there, what would you say to the young people nowadays with real estate and also digital real estate? Should they go that route? Either real estate, of course, brick and mortar, or digital real estate. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's what you do with the brick and mortar, right? Like if you're saying, okay, I'm buying real estate, commercial real estate so I can put a store in there. At some point, stores are going to go away, right?
Right.
But if you say I'm buying a warehouse and I'm going to license it to Amazon, I'm going to say more power to you. You got a 100-year contract, right?
Right.
Digital real estate is just about IPs, right? It's legitimately just about IPs, right? It's an intellectual property. Yes. The value of them is going to be, you can buy stuff for 300, you can buy stuff for 3 million, right? Based on where your location, like any other real estate. Do I think people should get into it? Why not?
Makes sense.
With most virtual things going on in the world, that why not? It's an investment.
It is investment.
People think real estate has to have a utility to it all the time. No, most real estate is investments. It's about being at the right and being somewhere close to something so that you can resell for a greater value, right?
Right.
That's what it is. So if you can do that inside of a metaverse where you buy a piece of property close to something, and some developer comes by you and said, I want to extend my video game across your property, you sell it for a premium. It's the same concept.
Same concept.
That people don't, people of color especially are just catching up. Economically, sociologically, everything. They're just catching up, right? We're just catching up as people of color. And so what happens there is every time we try to catch up, there's something new.
Yes.
Like it's like the moment we begin to, catch up to this, they're going into space.
Yes.
But now they're going into the virtual world. It's not that we have to break the mentality that we need to catch up because we've already caught up when it comes to stuff like that. Because they haven't even caught up. Get it? So at the end of the day, it's like most of them, non-Black, non-people of color aren't in the metaverse faster than we are, right? It's an even playing field. So you can buy property there just as quickly as them. But if we don't break the mentality of systemic racism, not that systemic racism never exists or doesn't exist, the ability of it to enforce its systemic racism is a lot more difficult, right? And so what I mean by that is you don't have to walk into a bank. Remember there was a time a Black person walked into a bank and they saw his color and they wouldn't give him a loan.
That's right.
Now you don't have to walk into a bank. You don't have to open up a bank account by walking into a bank. So that same loan can come to you through Quicken Loan without them even knowing who the hell you are. So that discrimination doesn't exist anymore on that level. Not that there's not other forms of it, residual stuff. I'm saying on that level. So if we don't break the mentality that there's this systemic racism being enforced the way it used to be, then we're never going to be able to go past a certain point. Because psychologically, they have us convinced about the big boogeyman white man. But social media, technology, and everything has literally removed a lot of their control. It's even the playing field a lot more than people think. They're so convinced that the boogeyman exists that they don't want to believe their opportunity. Some are. When I say they, I mean people who don't, because some of us do. We don't believe in the boogeyman white man, right? We know he's just as frail as anybody else, right?
Yes.
But you have people amongst us that believes that there's this great white man that somehow has a thumb on their head. The thumb was removed once social media and technology kicked in. Because he cannot control media the way he used to. He can try to put all the spin in the world, but some kid on TikTok's going to say, but I picked this up right here, look. He can say, oh, this happened this way. But some kid on Instagram says, well, I have video footage of what happened to George Floyd right here. There's no more ABC News tells me. ABC News is getting their news from kids on the street every day. Right? So a lot of the handcuffs are gone, but the mental handcuffs are there. So then we refuse to understand the importance of skipping over Web 2, which is skipping over the traditional monetization and going into the Web 3 monetization, which is crypto and all of those things. Because again, what crypto does is removes the middleman. And the middleman is where they had control. Their clearance houses told you how much when your wire went out. The bank told you what line of credit they'll give you. The bank told you how much of your own money you could swipe a day. Now imagine that.
That's right.
I put $100,000 into a bank account, and you tell me that I can only swipe $1,500 a day of my own money.
Your money, yes.
That's the limit you're giving me on my money. Do you understand how crazy that is?
It is crazy. That is crazy. Control.
But what crypto says is, if I put $100,000 there, I can spend $100,000 there, right there. No one tells me how I spend my money. It removes the middleman. That's what DeFi is. Decentralized financing removes the banking houses, the clearance houses, removes the bank from telling you what to do with what you could spend, what you can't spend. You spend what you want, and me and you are immediately transacting between you and I directly.
Wow.
Right? But how do you convince black people that? What do you mean? Digital currency. Nobody gonna buy no digital currency. You already use digital currency.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You already do. Because when you go look at your bank account on the computer, you see numbers that someone put there.
Exactly.
You don't see you don't smell a dollar bill. You see an actual printout.
Exactly.
So again, that's digital.
That's
when you swipe a credit card, digital.
Right.
All currency has been digital for a long time.
A long time. Long time.
But the banks have convinced you that this crypto thing is so much more scarier. And what you're going to need is us to regulate and us to control it. So we can save you from yourself.
That's great. Let's give that a round of applause. Hold on. Let me give that a round of applause. I gotta give that a round of applause, because that was a bomb there, brother. That was a bomb there. A lot of people don't realize that, because a lot of us, coming out of a religious community and religion, we fear the quote unquote boogeyman. And I had to get that out of my head years ago. That whole fear of the computer and fear of the this and the fear. Because we, what was that?
I was a little bit more privileged than you, so
yeah, you seen it. You've seen it.
I didn't follow by the same. I didn't fall under the same rules.
Yeah, that's why.
I think they did that on purpose because, which is unfortunate. But
yeah, I know.
The reality of it all is me being honest with a lot of people. They say, "What do you like about the whole idea of Web3?" Right? And I said, I like the idea of all the if it stays decentralized, right? And what does decentralization means? Decentralized means there's no middlemen between you and your money. Do you know how banks make money? Banks make money from you giving them your money and putting it in their accounts, in your account. They take your money and they invest it. They may loan you your own money on a mortgage, or loan your money to 15 other people and they pay you interest on it. This little tiny little 1% annual. Just to you, but they'll make billions on your money. And then they'll tell you how much you can spend. Why do they tell you how much you can spend? Because they don't need people spending all the money before they can invest it. So they limit people.
Man.
And so the reality of decentralization is to remove them out the way. What do I need you for?
Exactly.
I can loan my own money to somebody, and I can make the same amount you make. So now if I stake my money, if I buy crypto, if I buy Bitcoin today, right? The interesting thing about it is there's two things good about it. One, I can buy it can go up or down. But I can buy it and it can go up or down.
Up or down, exactly.
Right now, I put my money in a bank account, it just sits there. That's one. The good thing about it too is I can stake it, which means I can say, put my money to work for me. And I can loan my money the way the banks do and make 20% on it instead of 1% a year
from a bank.
You know what they're going to say? Well, because we secure your money, it's guaranteed you'll never lose it. But I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, those types of things don't really have loss too much. It's going to go up at some point.
Right. That's
true. So at the end of the day, if you're bought in like we bought in when it was a couple $100, you don't give a fuck that it's at 40.
Exactly.
Now, if you bought at 60, you're nervous right now. But if you bought at 50, at 500 or 1,500, 2,000, it's never going to go drop down to $2,000, right? Yes. So you're good there on Bitcoin. Ethereum ain't dropping down to $100 ever again. So you're good there if you bought it there. Now, if you buy higher, then you're a little nervous. But here's a good thing about crypto also. You can buy bits of it.
Yes.
Right now, that's another way they stopped us on the stock market. And you notice they got rid of penny stocks.
Yes, I noticed that. Yes, I did notice
that, which gave us a way in. They got rid of it.
Yes.
And said, oh, this bullshit scam. I said, no. Penny stocks allowed people with $5 to buy stock. Which gave them ability to have capital gains, dividends, and move themselves out of poverty. That's why y'all got rid of it. Bitcoin does that. If you have $5, you can buy $5 with Bitcoin.
That's right. I have.
You can't do that with Apple stock.
That's right.
You can't do that with Microsoft stock. You can't do that with Amazon. If you want an Apple stock and it's trading at 2,500, you got to have 2,500. And if the average person don't have 2,500, they can never have Apple stock, which means they can't have capital gains. They can't have, whatever. They can't build portfolios, whatever you may want to build. You cannot do it because you have to buy the full stock, or you got to buy something that might be $30 or $10 that's in your range, which may not be as as blue as the blue stock chips those are. So again, Bitcoin gives you the ability to have $1 to spend $1. If you have $50, spend $50. You got $500, spend $500, and you can buy that stock over and over again and allow it to trade. You can stake it at that little bit of amount. You can do whatever you need to do, and you removed the middlemen completely.
Completely. People that are just
have a problem with, and that's why they're trying to buy it all up so they can control the market. And I can tell everybody, get in this. Because if it gets to a point where they infuse enough capital in it, they'll be able to control how it goes up and down.
Of course.
And
monopolize it.
And I don't believe in the super they. I mean, not the boogeymen they, but the people that are VCs, which are venture capitalists, Wall Street people, governments who are going to use it to play this game, right? That's who the they is. And I mean governments meaning the Federal Reserve, right? If they begin to, back crypto, they can control based on their words. Like right now, if the Federal Reserve Chairman says, I'm going to raise interest rates, what happens is we get inflation or we get this or we get that because they have that control. So if they become the backers of crypto or, then at the end of the day, they'll be able to control the prices. They'll be able to set the rules, and we'll be right back waiting for Web 4 to come.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, like get in it now, buy now. It hasn't even gotten past, we're still at 0. It hasn't even gotten to the 50%.
Wow.
Yet.
But hold on, Jake. Hold on. Those that are just tuning in, we got our dear brother dropping that knowledge, family. Stop playing with what you're hearing. And before you say anything, I have one of my co-hosts. She wants to come on right now. Her name is Sensei Sherly. Sensei Sherly, we got Jacob York in the building. Sensei.
Hey.
Hi. How are you? Good evening.
Good.
Yeah,
my apologies. I'm just coming in from work, and I wanted to just. I asked King Simon, and if it's still okay to pop in.
Of course, it's family. We need some feminine energy to drop some of this, because before you ask your question, Sensei. Now, Jacob, what platform would you suggest people to get in on the Bitcoin and all those other things?
Well, I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two blue chip crypto.
Right.
So I would say they're the two safest.
Okay.
So if you want to get in on them, buy those.
Yes, and through Cash App, people say I've been buying through Cash App.
I've
been buying through Cash
App. You can buy it through a Coinbase wallet if you want. You can buy it through Trust Wallet.
Robinhood.
You can buy it through Crypto.com if you want. You can buy it through MetaMask. There's many places you can buy it. It's all about wherever you buy it. I say buy it and hold it, because it was very interesting what a particular VC said. She said that if only 5% of the VCs, which are venture capitalists and the Wall Street guy, got invested in Web3, Bitcoin would hit at least 500,000 in value each.
Wow.
So that's telling you not even 5% of the money is in yet.
Yes.
Right. So imagine if mass adoption happened by people instead of the VCs. If everybody drove it to 5%, then if you bought Bitcoin now at 50,000, 40,000, it'll be worth 500, 10x.
Man.
Right? And so people got to understand, like, it always, the biggest mistake they taught us, which I think was part of a mind control that I'm glad my parents never taught me, is if it seems too good to be true, it's probably is.
Right. Yeah.
That's not true.
That's not true, right?
But then they tell you the stories about how they made these miraculous decisions to do these things. Like one day someone decided to sell you this. Imagine telling somebody about this in 1950. They be talking about what kind of alien shit you doing?
What is this?
But hey, Jake, I remember
FaceTime each other like it's normal.
Jake, I remember when Reverend Ike back in the day said that preachers, when they was back in his younger days, when they started creating the car, he said they used to call that the devil's horse. Exactly. And they would shun away from it. But now everybody is driving the car.
Exactly. And so I think that was an idea that was created by, because, you know, the reality of the 1%, right? The whole idea of wealthy people. And that's the they, when people don't understand. There's a they, right? That's the they, the wealthy. But they're not all in sync. But that's just the they. I think that there are controls, and I can have a longer conversation about that theory, right? There are controls that they implemented into people under them to maintain a certain amount of control. And that's one of them. If it seems to be, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, then it must be. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like someone said, I remember I saw somebody the other day that said, I remember my mother said this thing, said, yeah, I believe it when pigs can fly, right?
Right.
And then I looked at I saw something the other day where they announced that police are using hovercrafts.
Pigs can fly.
And this one kid said, when pigs fly, right? So I laughed about this for about 45 minutes, right? And I said, I wish my mother was around because I sure enough would love to have.
She would have laughed.
Right? Well, pigs are flying, Mom, right?
Pigs are flying.
Pick up to Mom.
Flying, right? So, but the point of the matter is, like, I think we're just built to be told these words,
of course,
that maintain the boogeyman.
Yeah, the boogeyman.
The controls of the wealthy to maintain, you know, control over the masses is to build psychological boogeymen.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right.
Realistic. It's real that you can get up every day, get on a bus, go to work, make $15 an hour, come back home, and after 30 years, you know, you're going to buy a house. You're going to put 20% down. We're going to overcharge you for interest rate. You're going to pay 30-40% on a house. By the time you own it, we're still taxing you. You still got to rent water from us. You still got to rent gas from us. You still got to rent electric from us until the day you die. And if you don't rent that stuff from us, we're going to lien the same house. You just pay 30% on top of the value and take it back from you at a reduced rate, put it on the market, sell it to someone else, and they go through the cycle again. That's reality that you're taught.
Yes,
mind control.
Right. That's right.
The systemic mental boogeyman that they put in there, right?
That's
and true. I'm glad my parents never taught me about glass ceilings. I was blessed that so people see me and I go, that don't make any sense. And they go, you don't believe I'm not going for it.
That's right. That's right.
And they go, what do you mean? I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense. It just can't convince me of that. That's why I was the one. So when you say I walked around, you know,
free,
because they even Yadalahi was taught the glass ceiling. I just was never.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like my mother was like, we ain't doing that to you. Right.
Yes.
And I just was never taught. So I went into a world believing anything is possible. And some of my friends said to me, they said, I remember this one guy, Tom Silverman, said this to me. He said this to me a long time ago. He started a company called Tommy Boy, right?
Yes.
Said, Boy. Your brilliance is that you will things to happen that you create in your mind that it can happen. He says it's not supposed to happen. You just don't understand that it's not supposed to happen, and you will it to happen, so it happens.
That's right.
And I said, is that true? He said, I've seen you do it for 20 years. He said, I stay quiet because we all say, you don't doubt Jacob, because if he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it.
That's the truth.
So at the end of the day, I was never told certain things wasn't possible, so I would will. So when you ask me what's the secret, I don't have the mental constructed, systemic mental
to say what it is. Right.
I don't believe in the boogeyman. So when I see a white man, there's a cop. He's going to do this. Yeah, but his skin is as fragile as mine.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So I don't understand the fear of him. Like I don't understand the fear of he has a gun.
Right.
I do too.
That's right. That's right. Before we move on.
The law.
Hold on, Jake. Jake, what's so funny, Sensei, when we was younger, we used to call him the big head scientist because he just knew that he was going to manifest something. And we just we was like, what Jacob just did now? we used to get Yakub, of course.
Trouble too.
Yeah, I know. He was always
doing something.
You're always
I think
doing
it's
something.
Wonderful. It all starts in the mind. And I think it's very important to teach our children that today. Because we, majority of us grew up with that mentality of what Oh, if it's no good to be true. Oh no, you need to stay in your own place. You need to stay in that corner. You have to follow the rules. You have to do this. You don't want to be in trouble. No, we need to teach our children how to be free and how to be who they are. And I think it's very important that you speak on that and you touch on that. And yes, we manifest everything that we want out of life, good, bad, or indifferent. And it starts with here.
But you got to realize something, not to interrupt you, sister. I look at the world, and one of my biggest problems with when I talk to my brothers and sisters is the greatest words they ever use. Nothing has changed. I go, huh?
That's crazy.
What do you mean nothing has changed?
Yeah.
Back behind me are 2 black billionaires.
That's right.
That came out of hip hop. That's right. Both been to jail. That came out the hood.
Yeah.
That have felonies. And they're both billionaires.
You got Jay-Z, and who's the other one? Who's the other one? Oh, that's who?
Akon.
Akon. Oh, yeah, my man Akon. Yeah.
And I started with both of them. And I'm saying to you, you're telling me nothing's changed? Like nothing?
That's crazy.
Like nothing.
That's crazy.
So these guys didn't come out of projects and built themselves into worldwide brands.
Exactly.
And made millions of dollars and billions of dollars. That's not happening. So that didn't happen?
And the that are coming. Okay. Yeah.
One of the things I studied, because one of my studies was in psychology and behavioral science for obvious reasons, right?
No, of course.
Well, I studied that in college, right? I had to have that particular minor, right?
Right.
And what I realized is there are people out there that fear success. Let me elaborate.
You're right. You're right. Go ahead.
Failure is easier to justify. And so some of them need to believe the boogeyman is there to justify not trying. Some people need the boogeyman to keep a job. Umar Johnson. Guys like him that manufacture the boogeyman. Right, because without the boogeyman, they don't have jobs. Some people are like Al Sharpton, where they need civil rights to have a job, because what do? They need they need the boogeyman to exist. So now, is there a boogeyman? No. There's a fucked up white man that's just as fragile as we are, smarter, just bluffing. With guess what? With a 350-year, well, not that long, about 120-year advance run. They ran 120 years before we got off the platform. But guess how much of how we closed the race so fast. So guess what? Yes, systemic racism exists, but the implementation is harder. Yes, societal wrongs have been done, but to continue implementing it is harder. Right? That's why they're fighting not to educate themselves, because they don't want to deal with the justification of their actions. But if we keep believing nothing has changed, if we want to, not fuck the people that want to believe it because they need to justify themselves.
Yeah, right.
Fuck the people that keep peddling it because they need to keep their jobs.
Right.
Because I'm willing to bet you, I bet Omar Johnson $10,000 that most of his donation comes from the white Republican conservatives. I'm willing to bet you that.
Really?
They need him to disenfranchise black people, to make them not want to go to college, for them not want to try. Not because the system is so fucked up. Why are you even doing it to yourself? We're only waste your time. Let's just leave and go to Africa. I'm not leaving and going nowhere. This is ours.
That's right.
Go to Europe.
That's right.
I'm not leaving.
Right. Exactly.
Too many motherfuckers died. Too much of our family died. Too much of my people died. We built this. We were here before they were here.
That's right.
We fought hard.
They dragged a few more of us here.
That's right.
And they helped, and we built it. So I'm just going out of nowhere, just get up and leave because they didn't pay some civil rights leader to tell us to leave. No.
That's right. That's right.
Do you know the National African Congress has made blacks outside of America the sixth diaspora, the sixth zone? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't know that. No.
They're not telling us to come back. They're telling us to invest and do what we do, like what Europeans and everybody else does. What they're telling us to do is to put our foot up the ass of the people that's running this fucking world.
Country,
and that's what we're doing.
Right.
And what's happening is you got these people that come around and say, don't try anything. Don't do anything. Nothing's going to work. Nothing you can do will help you. That sounds like someone trying to fuck with my mind.
That's right.
What you mean nothing I'm going to do to help you? Because I didn't have a problem making $1.
Exactly.
I didn't have a problem helping a lot of other people make $1. These two men behind us, here.
That's right.
Helped many Black people make $1. Made millionaires of a few other Black people.
That's right.
Look what Akon's doing now. Look what Jay-Z's doing with civil rights. All the stuff that they're doing and helping empower Black people. Jay-Z just financed a young African, Black African man, second generation here in the metaverse. Just gave him money. Brilliant things he's doing with the metaverse. Nas is out there financing Black businesses, opening up businesses, Black entrepreneurs. My boy Rodney is out here putting massive amounts of money in Black tech. But yet we're supposed to believe nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed, right.
100% of us are in jail when only 3% of Black people commit crime. So crime has to be our biggest issue. Number one issue has to be crime, not equity, not education. Crime. Why are you trying to make us focus on certain things?
Exactly.
When equity in education has been proven to stop crime.
It's called distraction.
Crime is based on what? Poverty. Lack of financing. Equity says what? I give you financing, access to education, access to this, and you don't commit crime. That's a proven fact. But yet they don't push. They don't push equity. They push
equity. Right. Exactly.
Of course.
Even Black people have been forced to do that now, to talk about crime all the time. And I say only 3% of Black people commit crime. So what about the 97% that don't? How do they buy a house? How do they break the systemic racism that was in place to do that? How do they build generational wealth? They never committed a crime a day in their life. But we don't focus on that because we're told to focus on one thing.
That's right.
The distraction. The distraction. Yeah.
And they use tools on social media that sit there and talk about it all. And it's like
all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wait. Black wealth is up. 51.1% of Black people live middle class or higher. So why do we own the hood? Why do we project this image of every Black person lived in the hood when the majority don't?
Distraction.
Not 87% of Black people are educated, highly educated. Why don't we talk about that? Why do we act like everybody sounds like some hood rapper? Because that is the messaging that they've even fed us with the boogeyman.
Yes, many years.
For many years, content creators did this. You don't remember when Bill Cosby popped up with this TV show, and she was the doctor, the lawyer, and he was the doctor. He lived in brownstone. And people, that's not real.
That's not real. That's not, and that was that. I knew doctors and lawyers, Blacks.
And I'm in my brownstone going
real life and
what?
It's real life.
This is so real to me.
Exactly.
That's my reality.
That's what
it's not a reality. Every Black person came out the hood.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, Compton was considered Black suburbia. It didn't become the hood until they filled it up with crack. Is when it became hood, when they introduced violence. Poverty, crack, and systemic racism is when it became the hood. But Harlem wasn't even the hood.
No, it wasn't.
Until they what? Integrated
Uh-huh.
desegregation without true integration. Right? They desegregated.
Sure did.
So now Harlem businesses where Black people lived in Harlem that used to be Pop's barbershop can no longer compete because of desegregation. Now someone can go downtown to American Cuts and get the same cut for $2 that Pops had to charge $8 for because he didn't have access to certain tools. So Johnson's supply store, they used to sell you $8 rulers, can't compete with Target. Right? So desegregation helped to move money out of Black communities. True integration never bought the economic wealth, so Harlem became the ghetto. But Harlem wasn't the ghetto at one point. These were Renaissance areas.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Compton was Black suburbia. Those are actually, it's a suburb. If you look at Black areas, they were not the hood. It became like that right around after 1964, all the way up through the 80s, when they introduced crack, all this stuff. And then they start promoting this whole agenda around us. Black people started to become, these neighborhoods became the hood.
Right.
But now it's a badge of honor to say I'm from the hood. The fuck? No, I'm not.
Say that again for those
exactly.
who can't hear it in
Give
their
that a round of applause. That's right. No, but
it's nothing to celebrate. I agree.
Black neighborhoods was the hood. Are you kidding me? When is that okay? Like we're not designed from the hood.
And we didn't even get the word ghetto from us. It's from Jewish people.
It came from other minority groups.
Other people.
It didn't come from us. That came from the Germans doing that stuff for
exactly.
Jewish people and putting them in ghettos. That is not us. They all migrated.
Right.
And they pushed. We were the last crew that got pushed into that pool. Right. And what they did from that day on is, for some reason, we own that. So now it's like, you're not from the hood. You're not cool. Yep. No, nigga. I'm not from the hood, and I'm calling you a nigga because you think it's cool to be from the hood.
Exactly.
The hood is to get out, not to stay in.
Jake, hold on. Let's get that a round of applause. Jacob just dropping. Jake get passionate now. Jacob get passionate. I know this.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, man.
I know.
That we keep believing the boogeyman's bullshit because we're out of their ability to enforce it.
Yes.
But yet it's mentally in our heads.
Yeah, it's in our heads.
It's here now. And you hear black people say, you suburban black people, you talk white. No, I'm not. I speak English. I'm not talking white.
Yes. That's right. Now, as Sensei, what question you have for him, please?
Sorry, I'm very intrigued by everything. Like all the questions that I had are like, what?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I get upset by watching the mind, because I know eventually I'm going to migrate to the next side, and my generation is going to migrate to the next side.
Exactly.
Right. And then there's going to be generations after us. And who is going to explain to them that we don't own the hood?
That's
exactly.
Right.
We don't own ghetto. Doesn't come from us.
That's
exactly.
right.
We were in the suburbs when the Jewish people were in the ghetto in this country.
Yep.
Harlem was in the Renaissance when they were putting Jewish people in the ghetto in Germany.
Yeah.
We were in the Renaissance.
Yes,
you remember that was the Cotton Club era.
That's right. It was the Cotton Club. Big up to Mr. Beatty.
Let's be clear. So let's not begin to believe that we own the hood. We don't own poverty. We don't own desolation. We don't own being uneducated. Poverty in America is owned by white people. Yes. That is a fact. Because if 44% of people in America are in poverty.
That's right.
If 44% of Americans in poverty, and we're only 12% of America, which makes us 30 out of 330 million people, we're only 30. So let's say 50% of us is in poverty. That's 15 million. If it's 200 million of them, and 50% and 40% of them is in poverty, that's 80 million. 80 million is more than 15 million. So who owns poverty in America? White or black?
You're right.
But for some reason, it's painted as if we own poverty.
Brother.
We own uneducated. We own all, like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. And then you hear black people promote this. And I sit back and I go, wait, hold up. How does that make sense? I'm sorry, sister, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I appreciate your passion because I am the same. And I do, King Simon and I speak very often, and we get into it too the same way. Like we are both very passionate about the same, and we do talk about the exact things that you're saying. And I couldn't even be prouder than what you are saying right now. I couldn't be prouder of you and King Simon for actually educating everybody right now. So now my question is to you, can you please write a history book?
You gonna be a writer like your dad?
Can you please?
Well, not like my dad.
Not like your dad, but you know,
right.
Bring it
educating writing.
Ouch. I had to give that to you.
I know, ouch. That hurt.
No, I don't
no,
believe that I have I don't believe I have that in me to do. That's not my calling. I don't think so. I know that people have asked me to do a podcast. They're like, oh, you're smart. You know this, da-da-da.
Right. Yeah, you ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have time. I just don't think I qualify.
What?
I just don't.
Jake,
I think there are historians out there that qualify way more than me that spent their time, and they should. And there are newer historians that are creating accurate depictions, and I'm hoping to just help in the way I can. Back them as I can, and allow it to. I just don't think I qualify to write a history book.
Well, do you think that maybe not a typical history book that they would just give out in the schools, but maybe like an autobiography of some sort that you can help?
I don't have that much narcissism.
Much narcissism.
I don't. Doing interviews drive me crazy. You understand that? Let alone
write the whole book.
I mean, I started writing a book years ago about human personalities because that was intriguing to me. But like, I don't have that in me to be like, let me write a story about my life. Like, I don't have that in me. I've heard it before, and I just don't have it in me.
Really?
I'd rather just share the information with people, whatever mediums we have, and see who I can continue to guide, and and handpick some people, and try to place people in the right place, and try to influence politics and policies, more policies than politics, even though they run hand in hand. But no, I couldn't see myself doing that. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm trying to build my courage up to do a podcast right now because I've been offered it for so long, but I just I get anxiety doing public speaking.
You're a natural, obviously.
It's just the scotch.
Yeah, the scotch. Yo, people that are just tuning in, we got our dear brother. We got our brother there, Jacob York, our guest. You can hit him up via Jacob at Jacob York at IG. Don't do no foolishness, please. I know a lot of people are trolling. Don't troll. I ain't got no time for troll. That's why I tell people trolls, take a stroll out of here because I don't do the negative stuff here on my channel. He's a chancellor of course, Electric Republic. We're going to talk about that next before we close because I don't want to keep him too long. He's a curator of course, Electric Token NFT at Electric Token NFT, and of course, CMO, of course, at My Canna Consulting. Now, let's talk about this electric token that you're dealing with now, this website, because what you say in the front of the website, it says, leveling up the NFT game for you, empowering artists and projects to release in a top tier way to maximize the impact window by giving their fans an electrifying experience. Let's talk about this website that you got, my brother, and talk about that, what you're doing now.
So the NFT business is one part of the Web3 component. So there's crypto, obviously, there's the metaverse, and then there's the NFT, which crypto is an FT and NFT is a non-fungible token. So what an NFT is just, crypto, what you know to be crypto is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a fungible token, which means you can exchange it for the same value, right? Okay. Right. And NFT just means it's a non-fungible token. You can't exchange it. It's supposed to be a one of a kind, right? Right. And what it really is just a digital certification, right? So if you're an IP owner, right? And let's say you released your music, right? Right. You can release your music through NFTs, right? And let's say you painted a painting.
Yes.
Right? And you sell your painting.
Yes.
To me. Yeah. For $1. Let's say you become huge. I sell it to the sister here for $100. I made $99. You made nothing. An NFT allows it through something called a smart contract, right? Where if you sell it to me for $1, and we do a smart contract that says 20%, if I sell it to the sister here for $100, $20 go to you. If she sells to somebody else, every time it transacts, you get paid.
I get paid. Right. I like
so
that.
Why did I like this? I felt like artists have a hard time.
Yeah.
Especially Black artists. So Electric Token is specifically targeting the BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous people, Native Americans, people who are usually the hardest people to mass adopt things because we believe in the mental boogeyman. Right? It's difficult. So I've created this purely for my audience of people because I'm big on equity within my people, right?
Yes.
I don't separate, Black from Indigenous. I don't separate, Black from natives. I don't separate. We're all one group of people. The only person that separates us is the white man, right? That's the one person that separates all of us. But the rest of us, you put an Indian guy next to me, he's just, some of them are blacker than me.
Yes.
White people told him that's an Indian. And they're like, oh, he's different from me. When they say all niggas get down, they go with us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Let's just be clear, right? So at the end of the day, this was designed to help my people, right? adapt Web3 at an early stage, right? So it's important. That's why we built the Instagram page to just give information away, free information. Boom, here's what's happening. Here's what's going on. Let me break down what an NFT is. Let me break down what you need to do. So at the end of the day, I look at this also as an educational tool, right? One of the biggest issues that people of color have is education when it comes to college. Everyone here who's been to college understands that books is one of our biggest problems. Why are books expensive? Because mostly they're written by the professor.
Right.
Yes.
Correct?
Right. That's right.
The problem with the book is the professor sells it once. So they got to make a premium. Right? And then they're forced to write more and more books. Right? With an NFT, college books just got cheaper. Because now you bought that book that season, that professor made money.
Yeah.
The next semester, you sell it to me. That professor made money.
Make money.
Next semester, I sell it to the sister. The professor makes money.
Let's make money, right?
So the value of the book decreases, and now we can afford more books. It helps with equity. The professor makes money. You now can sell your book to someone as an NFT.
Right.
Transfer that right to them. The professor still makes money, so he doesn't feel the need to raise all the prices of the books. And what happens from then on is that book is trading consistently. You get your money back, right? The professor validates it, so he makes money. You get your money back. You can use it to buy another book. And we keep this trading system going through NFTs, and all of a sudden you start seeing the value of buying books as no longer high. So that helps people of color who have issues with just affording school, let alone affording housing, let alone affording food, let alone affording books. Right? So these are the type of things that we're thinking like. Same thing with art. Black art matters to one thing. I have this art on my wall right here. I picked it up in Matanza, Cuba.
Okay.
Right? Matanza, the port in Cuba.
Yes.
Where a lot of slaves came through.
Beautiful.
Right? A lot of Black Americans, a lot of the slaves that are Black, consider themselves Black American, a lot of them came through Matanza. Right. In Cuba. Right. So I picked this up from a painter, right? And every time people see it, they think it's a Basquiat. What's interesting about it is the painter who drew this painting was Haitian, living in Cuba.
That's interesting because my grandmother's from Cuba and they were Jamaican living in Cuba, and then she became that's interesting.
Well, you know, there's a Trinidad, Cuba.
Yes, I know. Yes.
Right? So it's very interesting. We can have a whole nother conversation about
that.
The point of the matter is
we love our Haitians.
Huh?
She's from Haiti. She's from Haiti herself.
What I'm saying. Listen, I can send you many pictures of me and Cap Haitian at the hospital with the kids and everything, right?
Wow.
I get it. I love it. And I have a plan with Haiti right now when it comes to what we're building, right? So right, because the important thing is like one of the biggest, I'm going to get to this picture in a second.
Yes.
So we released an NFT last summer to help the Jamaican bobsled team get to the Olympics because they are a summer Olympic country, right?
Right, of course.
So we did a release. We did an NFT release. We were able to raise money to get them equipment, everything they need to train. They 2 days ago they just qualified for the Beijing Olympics.
Yes, I heard. Yes, I seen that. Right. Yeah.
Right. And we were happy to help. What NFT did was help them. And what's good about these NFTs is their consistent tradability will keep money coming to the Jamaican Bobsled Association. Right. And that keeps them funded. Right. And that's the most important part of it is how equity can be built through NFTs. Because again, it's like if you say, I want to donate to the Jamaican bobsled team. Yeah. Now I'm saying, don't donate. Buy this art by this young Black artist, and money will go to the Jamaican bobsled team, the young Black artist, plus you'll have something. That will increase in value. Something you can give as a holder, you can hold on to this NFT, or you can give it to your son and say, yo, we have a piece of the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yes. Makes sense.
And so you're no longer just giving money that goes into a hole. You're buying something, you gain some value. And then guess what? If you decide to sell it, you make profit. Money still goes to the Jamaican bobsled team. Money still goes to the artist. And that thing increases in value and someone else purchases it. And that's how you begin to build equity and ownership through NFTs. That's what's concerning a lot of the people in the structure that keep saying, don't believe in NFTs, it's bullshit. Because they understand what it can do in just the nonprofit side of it.
Would you
just
say
the
this is
nonprofit side of it, and just helping the Jamaican bobsled team raise money to buy equipment for the Olympics?
Jacob? Would you say that this is the new gold rush, like back in the day?
Gold rush sounds very, 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 very controlled.
Okay.
What I mean by this, I wouldn't say gold rush. This is an ability to build generational wealth.
Okay.
Obviously, you have to learn it, study it, and that's why we built the page. And it's not like I'm charging for the information. The page is free. You can go on it. It says, what is an NFT? What does it do? What is Web3? How do you do this? And we teach you the information so you can go out there and do. People want us to suggest tokens. I don't want to suggest anything to you. I want you to be a thinker. I want you to know just as much as we know on this. Right? So you can go out there and build equity. I want to be able to do business with you. I don't want to tell you, well, this is the coin you should buy. Like if you study it, you should know. You should be able to tell me what coins to buy.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So that's what I want to build amongst my people, is the ability to be like, listen, man, don't be slaves mentally. Get out here and learn this and invest your money. And no, because it takes 2 seconds. Nobody's dumb enough that they can't study and learn something. I don't care if you're a mechanic. A mechanic knows how to build a car and fix a carburetor, right? Is someone else joining?
Yeah, I was putting in your website actually, so people could see that.
The Instagram page is where all the free information is.
Okay, so so
the
this
website just kind of tells you who we are, but the Instagram page is where you go and get electric token NFT is where you go and get all the free information, and we post daily. Okay, just what's going on in the marketplace, who's doing what things are, what to be careful of, what to see, who's this, who's that, and you see me occasionally. I'll pull it on my personal page. I'll just be like, listen, be careful. Mass adoption is needed. Mass adoption is needed. And people of color just need to do it. But back to what I was saying about the art, right? Right. Art, this art will be more emotional to you, sister, because of you being of Haitian descent. It may be more emotional to you, Simon, because of your attachment to Cuba, right? Right. But some white person, it probably won't matter.
That's right.
It mattered to me because I saw a young Black Haitian artist in Matanza trying to make. So I just, he asked me for a quarter. Wow. I gave him $100. So here you go. He said, huh? Here you go.
That's wonderful.
Right? Because I understood what it meant to me.
Right.
But see, here's how art community works. This is the strange control of art. Because Basquiat died broke.
Yes, he did. That's right.
He had his art trading for $200 million.
Yes, exactly. Wow.
Let me Basquiat died broke.
Yes.
Yet his art is trading for $200 million. Why? Here's how art community works. A white artist who's a curator comes and says, I like this art. Usually in his Rolodex, he has a bunch of wealthy white heirs or wealthy white people. And he says, hey, I like this art. And they come down and they buy it for $50 million. Now that art's worth $50 million. That artist just happened. That same white person, curator, will see this art, not have the emotional attachment, not understand what it is, and says, I don't like it, and walk off. So that art will sell for a quarter because of the emotional relatability to it, right?
Absolutely.
What we're building through Web3, through NFTs, is you will be able to buy art. You will decide, you'll be the wealthy heiress.
Right.
And you'll see more Black artists selling for millions of dollars, and the Basquiats don't have to die broke. Basquiat's value was bent because a white man named Andy Warhol told white people he was cool.
Right.
Because they had the money, they spent it on what that white man told them. So that's why white artists sell better than Black artists. But if with $5 trillion in buying power, Jay-Z shouldn't be buying Picassos. He should be buying this guy.
That's right.
Right. That's exactly.
He should buy Dial. He should be buying the next Basquiat because he sets the trend now. He has the budget. He's that wealthy heiress.
That's right.
But through NFTs, through the platforms that we're creating and have deployed, you will be the wealthy heiress. And your emotional attachment to that art will send a value to that art. Absolutely. And you will make sure the Basquiats of the world don't die broke.
Right. Now, and you know what's so funny?
Benefit from his art.
You know, so funny, Jacob. I shared this with my daughter and my sons because two of them are very good artists, and I'm trying to let them know that you can do this through your NFTs and all that. Now, is there any particular platform they should go to? So
at the end of the day,
yes,
there is no specific platform that's dedicated to us.
Okay.
It is all general. So you have OpenSea and you have, Wax. You have all these platforms that's just general.
Yeah.
They're not dedicated to us. So unless they have a community already that knows their art, their art's just going to go into a giant sea of millions of pieces and won't be recognized. That's why I said I want to build something that's specific to us.
And that's what this website for. That's what
we're doing. That's what we're building. We haven't launched out. We haven't deployed our OpenSea yet. It's
not yet. Okay, because I seen OpenSea just made a certain amount of money, over millions or 30. Billions. I just watched it, and I just looked at it online today. I was like, wow.
They just charge fees. They don't care if you sell or not. They just charge fees, right? They charge you a percentage, and whether you sell a 1 or 5, they make money, right?
Yeah,
they're just a platform. They're like Walmart. They're a store.
Yeah,
right. We're going to launch that. But ours is going to be so directed and so curated towards people of color that it's going to draw your buyer to you.
Okay.
People don't understand the importance of Black radio or the importance of BET or the importance of that. It's because people need somewhere where their audience can appreciate their music, their content, and their art. Right now, there's nowhere dedicated to that right now. And so Electric Token is dedicating itself to creating a platform specifically for our stuff.
Congratulations.
So artists no longer have to worry about, getting lost in the sauce.
That's right.
That's the whole idea.
Thank you very much. I got to give you a round of applause for that, bro. Because a lot of people don't realize how important that is, that you see in the vision. And I'm proud of you, bro. I've seen you since we've known you since we was young, but I'm just proud of how you've kept on going. I mean, I was in New York hearing about what you was doing out here, the productions and all that. I said, Jacob, you're doing what? And I'm doing clubs in New York. So I was doing all kinds of stuff. So I was like, whoa, Jacob, I got to link up with Jake and see what he's doing out there. And I was like intimidated to move to Atlanta because I wasn't afraid of it. But I was like, man, I'm just intimidated by going down there because I heard so much about it. But when I seen people like you doing what y'all was doing, I was like, okay, this my brother's turning it a whole nother level. And I know you always had vision since we was children. And like I say, you just live carefree. You always live carefree. We ran into each other on 42nd Street in front of my cousin's table, Sully, and how he was talking and all that. But I could tell you was just checking out who we are because we there at the table still. You're like, come on, man, this table stuff. But but I knew I had to step out from that. I was just going to visit him because do what I had to do. But again,
no, I wasn't knocking that.
I know you wasn't knocking that, but
I was just trying to say to myself. I was just saying to myself, it probably was just nostalgia.
Yeah.
I don't knock people for what they do. Like I don't. If you choose to be at that table for the next 40 years, as long as it's an honest living and you're building equity, that's great.
Yeah.
What my biggest issue is mass adoption of equity. Like we are no longer being held back, but by our mental enslavement is holding us back.
Right.
Not to say that there's no racism. Not to say that there's no police brutality. Not to say mass incarceration didn't happen.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the amount of people that go to the percentage of Black people that go to jail is down to like 3 or 4%. So why is that the giant subject?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is every time the political cycle come up, both sides talk about prison,
propaganda,
prison reform, or mass incarceration? Like, okay, I appreciate that.
Right.
That's equity.
But I got a degree from Columbia. How do I explain how do you explain mass incarceration to me when my degree is no longer valuable? And I have debt. How do you explain to me my why when I don't understand mass incarceration because I don't have anything to do with that?
That's right.
And I think the messaging has gone wrong. And I think Black people want to have some Black people, not all, have adapted and owned the hood. Owned poverty, owned, civil rights, owned everything. And it's like, because of who we are, we turn everything bad good. But I don't want this one.
That's right.
Because they were the one living in squalor while we had empires.
That's right.
We washed their ass and seasoned their food and gave them medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? I had a conversation the other day with people, with a conservative friend of mine, and I said, and I remember having this conversation. I said, what if we adapted the Arabic numerals in English right now? In this country, we have Arabic numerals. And you know what he said? That would never happen.
What?
And you know what I thought to myself?
Uh-huh.
We already did.
Exactly. It's already here.
The numbers we use are Arabic numerals.
From the 0 all the way up. Yeah, it's all there. All the way up.
They don't have anything.
They don't understand.
We fix them. They were the one in poverty. They were the one with no real language. They were the ones eating raw food. They were the ones pasty skin, issues with the sun. And somehow we've turned that in America on ourselves. We've turned Africa into a place of poverty. And like Africa, everybody's running around in dress skirts. You know, we've turned everything to the sense of poverty. You know, I look at Haiti and I know what Haiti's going through. But what I love about Haiti when I go is everybody is uniformed and the young kids are going to school.
Doing their thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yo, that always brings tears to my eyes when I'm out there. I'm like, they're going to school. They're they're walking past piles of garbage. And they're going right to school.
In uniform.
Education is important. Equity is important. Because poverty disappears when you do that.
That's right.
Now, not to say what the French are doing in Haiti is bad. Not to say the Americans, with everything that they did is bad. And it's definitely bad. And there's no exception to that. Haiti can be considered an exception to the rule. But I'm saying to say this. I still see young kids in their uniforms walking to school in large numbers. When I see that blue top, I just start smiling.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. That's amazing.
You know what I mean? I just get excited. I'm like,
of course.
Well, these brown children are getting an education, and one of them is going to break the French's back.
Yep. It's in their soul. It's in their spirit.
Doing it
again.
Exactly. It's going to happen.
And that's why I'm saying mass adoption of Web3 will definitely do that, because guess what you don't need to buy Bitcoin? The French government. You don't need the US government. You don't need the Federal Reserve. You don't need none of that.
None of them.
And that's their biggest fear.
Of course.
It's decentralized. It's not ran by one individual. It's ran on multiple computers around the world. Millions of computers operating it. So you can never shut it down. You can't find no person to do this. You can't manipulate it. But that's why they're trying to tax.
Of course. Yep.
That's the only power they have. They can't stop it.
Right.
So what that means is brown people around the world can unite. If $1 came from every brown person around the world, we're in the billions of dollars.
That's right.
That's right. Now, hold on, Jake. Before you go on, Sensei, did you want to ask a question? Remember, we got Jacob York in the building. Want to give him a round of applause for being here before we close him down, because we are running out of time, and I don't want to keep him up. He can go forever.
I drank too much water. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll put you out. I'll put you.
Story together.
I'll put you out. I got you. I'll put you out. I'll remove you. Yeah. So that's. I mean, isn't that interesting what this brother been dropping? Isn't the wisdom he dropped? And showing that art, and as a matter of fact, I could show the art from the background there. Let's show his art real quick, because that is done by a Haitian artist. The one right there near Jake Akon, near Akon, of course. That's done by a Haitian artist in Cuba. Give that a round of applause. And it's part of the NFT now. Y'all can actually own piece of it, like the brother said. So let's take that out and get us back in until he comes back. Then I'll bring him back in. But wow, congratulations to that Haitian artist, of course. And he brought it from him for, and that's the smart move. And I'm trying to tell my own children who are artists, and, tell your children, whoever, any form of art, you can dig back into time when they used to draw and turn their art into something of value through the NFT family. So please link up with Jacob and go study it, because he's giving away free information. That's his website, electrictoken.io. Also, he's giving away free information on his IG at Jacob York. And also he's the chancellor of at Electric Republic. And he's the curator of at Electric Token NFT. These are all on Instagram, free information on there. And also the CMO at my Canna consultant. So let me bring him back on. I see him in the backstage again. Let me bring him back in. Jacob, yeah, I know you had to use the bathroom. I understand.
If you want to talk about my Canna consultant, I can answer that.
Okay, let Sensei ask a question, and then we go right into my Canna consulting. Go ahead, Sensei.
Okay.
So one of the questions that I had when you were speaking about the contracts, as you were giving out the examples, would can a person buy someone out of their contract once they've
what kind of contract? Like a smart contract on an NFT?
Yes, a smart contract on an NFT.
Yeah. If they want to sell you,
you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
you can buy a contract out.
Would you say that would there be a loss for the original contractor for that, or no?
So, but through the NFT, you can do that.
Okay.
The rules are built inside the smart contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a digital language that tells you exactly what to do and what's possible and what's not possible with this particular NFT, right? Mm-hmm. So if Simon says, "Hey, I want to sell out my entire," he can just put up an NFT that says, "I sell my portion this out," and there'll be a new smart contract created that just sells out his portion of that NFT to whoever wants to buy it.
Right.
That's the reality. So it literally is all digital. You just go into a system and go, "I want to do this, and post it," and it goes up.
Wow.
Or he can call you directly, system, and say, "Hey, you want to transact on this? Give me 10 ETHs, which is Ethereum's, which is about $40,000, and right now $35,000. He buys it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Now let's get into my Canna consultant. What is that, my brother? Because I know you have so many.
My Canna consultant was an idea that came up between some really smart people of color to look at the cannabis business, and how it affects people of color, right? Okay. But how we adapt blockchain to it and everything, right? So we have multiple components in it in which we look at. So one of the things we work on is with a company called Pivotal, which is a very smart, one of our partners, and we have equity in that company. Okay. And what it is it's an initiative, it's an education initiative, but it's not cannabis from the perspective of just growing it for consumption or to smoke it, but cannabis from how the usability of it when it comes to women hygiene, when it comes to products related to, medical, right? So we have a bunch of PhD doctors of color that got together and developed a bunch of products to help people of color specifically, right? Most people don't know that we suffer from prostate cancer, right? People of color, right? Black people especially. So right there at Clark Atlanta, they actually have a center built in to investigate, prostate cancer, right? To do research. Right. The problem with them is they're not funded very well, right? That's right. So what they have to do is they have to do contracts with big corporations to fund that, and then what happens is that corporation owns the research but they fund the research. That organization owns the research. And so the endowment never works in the benefit of the college, right? Where Emory is so well funded, they have patents on a lot of stuff that it perpetually keeps that school going. Clark Atlanta is not as well funded, so it has to sell the rights to companies because they're putting up the hundreds of millions of dollars to fund it.
Right. Wow.
And so what we're doing with this company is we're stopping that through some of the stuff that we've developed technologically. And some of the stuff that we've developed with working with doctors and obviously cannabis infused stuff that will allow for funding and patents that we have 2 patents already. I can't talk about all of it.
Of course.
But will allow us to help schools like Clark Atlanta perpetually, consistently be able to keep the rights to what they were developing over there. Because if they come up with an answer for prostate cancer, Pfizer owns that because they funded it. Right. That's the problem. Like if you don't own the patent, you can't perpetually own the medical. You can't make money forever on it. So your school ends up with dirty walls, right? So most HBCUs, Black schools, don't have the funding to keep rights to these hundreds of millions of dollars to develop this stuff and run these programs to be able to keep the patent. So we came up with ways to cut the traditional system through technology, blockchain being one of them, right? Like we came up with a way through one of our blockchain technologies that's going to change the entire face of us ownership of our DNA. Like where we've already broke the code. You're going to see the announcement in the next 3 weeks how we got together and did this. It's the most brilliant thing in the world.
Congratulations.
I came up with some money and some ideas. These guys are doctors. Doctors,
they know their stuff.
Black genetic people that's never. What happened to Henrietta Lack?
Yeah, Henrietta Lacks. I interviewed her grandson
on the blockchain for you to own rights to your DNA.
Wow.
Own rights to your cells. Incredible. Own it and protect it and be able to secure it so no one else will be able to perpetually milk us that ever again. We've already done it. That. It's already cracked. It was done by
Well, like I said, I just had Ron Lax on, the grandson of Henrietta Lax on. So I'm definitely gonna.
Well, let Ron know he could call me tomorrow.
I'm gonna connect you.
Show him how because he's somebody that we need to talk to about this. Because at the end of the day, I refuse to ever see that happen again.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send him this
the website of the company, but it's a very interesting thing. Like what we're doing with how this Web3 will apply to Black equity, Black control, ownership of your own IPs, like down to we've developed a science that literally, if somebody wanted your hair, they can have your hairstyle to the T without a picture.
Right.
Because you own rights to your actual every molecule if you're on the blockchain. And you're able to say, if you want my hair, here's my genetic code of how my hair works.
Wow.
And I control it.
That's incredible.
This is already done.
That's incredible.
This is already done. We're announcing this in the next 2 weeks. You heard
I just sent him this link so he could watch this. What you just said, but I'm going to give you his number later on tonight so you can talk to Ron.
People like him needs to join.
No, him and his whole family, because John Hopkins has been taking blood from their family since what they did to Henrietta Lacks. No.
We literally have in our press release what they did to Henrietta Lacks can never happen again.
That's right.
They will never own your IP. You through the blockchain, and we found a way through a major security company, blockchain security company, to protect it too.
Wow.
Safeguard it.
Wow, this is major, man. This is major. Big up to Ancestral Gift. Big up to Ancestral Gift. Big up to her. You see what I'm wearing here? That was made by Ancestral Gift. You know who Ancestral Gift is? You remember her? Awatif. She made this back in the 90s. Big up to Awatif, Ancestral Gift. Thank you. She made this for me back in the 90s, but she lived over there in Brooklyn, over there off of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I love Awatif.
Yeah, that's our family. That's family, man. That's it. She made all this when I was a reggae artist. So big up to her, man. Thank you. She said that's major. She just said it in the chat.
Yeah,
this is major. Congratulations. Thank you, Awatif. You know I love you, girl. LOL. You know I love you, period. You know the deal. Well, tell us about moving forward. What about Electric Republic? What's that all about, Electric Republic?
So Electric Republic was just, because Electric Republic was more the media company. Right. So we developed apps, right? We developed, we produced a few films. Brotherly Love.
Yes, I remember that. Very good. Were you and Queen Latifah, right? You and Queen Latifah?
Yeah, we did a bunch of films, some television stuff.
Yeah.
Represented some talent, music, and that's what Electric Republic was just an all around full service media company.
Right.
What's good about Electric Republic is Electric Token fits within that because now the way music is deployed, the way films are deployed through the metaverse. Now, instead of just looking at a linear television, you'll be able to log into the metaverse through contacts and be able to sit in a theater in the metaverse and watch your Netflix account. I mean, they just had a basketball game in the metaverse with the Nets. First time ever. I was like, whoa. That's the reality of the situation is the metaverse is not quite as scary as people think it is.
Yes.
What it does is just gives you a 3-dimensional access to things. What it does is it makes the earth a lot bigger, because some of it is AR, which you're going to be able to just you walk into a store and there's things you're going to be able to see in the store. There are things that you can only see with these contacts on.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
The reality of the metaverse also is going to be, you're going to go in there and you're going to want to shop in a store. You're going to go into an Amazon store. You're going to say, I want this, that, and it's going to show up to your house in real life. So people think it's all just virtual. It's real life experiences too. So you're going to be able to go to concerts that you won't, instead of just seeing it from a perspective of on the screen, you'll be able to kind of live in it and talk to people next door to you and interact with people, which gives you the ability to just do more. It's not, people have this philosophy, oh, you're going to be sitting at home with the devil in your head. It's not that serious.
It's not going to make people lazy, I hope. It's not going to make people lazy and want to get up.
I think that if you're predisposed to be lazy, you're predisposed to be lazy.
Period.
Period.
Period. Let's be clear. Like there's no make people do, right? It's like if you just say, I'm just going to do this, that's who you are.
Yes.
If there's a horse and carriage,
you're lazy ass. You're lazy ass. That's
right.
You're a lazy ass person, right? But if you are not predisposed to be lazy, you're going to see this as another experience.
Yeah, it is.
Right, and then you're going to move on to the next side.
Exactly.
Right. So, to be honest with you, I find it to be good because I feel like it closes the world around us. It helps us to exist in something new. It also makes things a lot tangible, right? So in other words, I like to shop, right? But when you go through a pandemic or stuff like that, and you're like, oh, there's crazy people that don't want this and that, and you just decide to virtually shop online, it doesn't feel the same as shopping in the store, right? So I'd like to be able to turn my virtual glasses on and physically feel like I'm walking into something and touching things, and it's just fun to do. But also there's applications when it comes to working. Like right now, what we're doing, right? Yes. Exactly what we're doing right now will be virtual next time. You'll be sitting in your chair. I'll be sitting in a chair next to you. Sister Hill will be sitting next to us, and we'll be having the same conversation, but we'll be able to shake each other's hand while we're doing it through a virtual system. So why is that a problem?
Forward to that.
If you have a problem with that, start beeping people again. Throw your iPhone away.
Exactly.
Like everything is a boogeyman. Everything. You know what it is? People watch too much TV.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
TV. You know the biggest conspiracy in the world is? The biggest conspiracy in the world is to keep people poor, not to kill people.
That's right.
To keep you poor. And I mean poor is 40,000 a year and down. That's the giant conspiracy. Because guess what? There's a finite amount of money on this planet that they can justify. Yes. And if everybody has $1 million, nobody has $1 million. Yeah. That's the only conspiracy. Just remember that.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Well,
they don't want to lose the workforce. Because none of them are going to pick up their own laundry. They got to keep a group of people at 40,000 and less.
Yeah.
That's the biggest conspiracy.
Wow. Before we close out, any questions, Sensei, you want to give him before we leave? I don't want to keep him too long, but that's my brother, and I want to get him back on again, probably another couple months after this big launch that's going on. So go ahead, ask him your question before we leave.
Well, thank you again. Thank you for what you're doing. Yes. I just wanted to ask really quickly about the going back to the genetics and owning our own genetics. I think this is such an incredible phenomenon to, launch something like that, especially for women. And I say especially for women because when you discuss prostate cancer, I automatically in my mind thought of tumors that women go
fibroids.
Fibroid is one of the things we're working on. We're doing fibroids, everything related to people of color and what Black people suffer. We have been focusing.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm hoping you're also going to get it to the point of breast cancer. Which because as you know, majority of cancers grow more in us. So not that we're claiming it, but
speaking for us, they get skin cancer, we get certain cancer. Everybody's unique in what they do.
Right. So with that said, how will you all suggest for women to go in and sign up or participate in this new program that you have?
It's not just me. There's a bunch of smarter people than me.
It's a we. It's a crew team.
You all.
We all. There are a few educational elements that's coming.
Okay.
There is a there's a sports initiative right now because we signed an NFL contract and NHL contract to deal with sports. Also, there's a sports initiative that's coming up soon. We're announcing multiple things, right? Because there's this thing that we talked about, which is, you know, how do you control your, you know, your actual genes? Like, you will know your entire body will be there for you to know. That's one thing. And then there's another thing is the education on, you know, fibroid issues. Fibroid issues, whatever it is affecting women. You have doctors, literally PhD doctors, women who have been working on the Knox doctors is one of them, is one of our partners. The Knox doctors, you should look them up, KNOX. And they are brilliant women working on multiple programs that we're working on together. And they're helping us to push a woman hygiene health initiative, right? Which is definitely including everything you're saying. And how to easily, and not with the genetic thing, because we're going to just deploy somewhere where you can just kind of and put all your, this is what I like, what I eat, what I don't like, what I right? And you can deploy it that way. That's something that's one thing that, and that's one program that we have that's a part of what this program does, that's going to work through electrical token that helps to make everything come together. So these are different verticals that I invested in and am a part of that I've kind of been working to unite, right? And everything that you're dealing with is in health when it comes to women of color is being addressed as part of what Pivotal is doing.
Ancestral
Mike is one of, we represent with equity and advising multiple companies, whether it's people that are direct selling cannabis, farmers, Black farmers trying to figure out how to get government subsidies, thanks to Trump and them blocking it, down to helping Kush queens, you know, diversify their, you know, building supply chain. In other words, like, you know, Kush queens may have a big play in California as a woman, Black woman owned cannabis company, but they can't get into Oregon. And we've connected our Black person in Oregon with them. And we've connected, you know, Seattle, you know, Washington State with the people in Oregon. So now everybody has mass distribution. So that's one part of what we're doing also, economic growth within that space also. But so there's multiple things. And what I can tell you is it's such a large conversation, right, to have. Like, it's going to take another 2 hours to kind of break that down. Right.
No, yeah, we can set that up.
You have to come back.
There's an education piece.
You have to come back.
You have to come back.
You have to come back with a doctor, with one of the doctors. I don't mind. We do the doctors.
So that's one. Yeah, that's another side. So it's a lot more to that component, which is it's a very. If I show you the graph, you'll be like, whoo.
Yes.
Right, because we're doing stuff with you know, literally can actually go down genetically and your hair and what works and exactly what products works perfectly with you. Like, I mean, it's literally mapped and it's all blockchain driven and it's protected. It's decentralized. We don't own the information. You do.
No. Ancestral Gift just asked, owning genetics, does that mean cousins, children, aunts included?
They will own their genetics.
They own their own. Okay.
So it's each person to their own.
Yes.
But wait a minute. If somebody pass on or transition, suppose now would that family member be able to own theirs if they transition?
Only if that's in their smart contract.
In their contract, okay, like a will left over. Okay, got it. All right.
But if not, it will disappear with them.
Dang.
And it will in perpetuity be right there on the blockchain, locked. Like it's kind of like if you buy crypto.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And you forget your password.
You're locked out.
You locked out. Get your password right, son.
You're locked out.
You heard that, Ancestral Gift?
I just have really one last question, if that's all right.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush.
Hey, what's up, Leia? Leia's in the building. Bird Family Search. What's up, Leia? What's up, girl? Give you a round of applause. Got to bring you back on. The family is here. I love it. Go ahead. What you going to ask us?
What's the age group that you guys going to look into to start doing these contracts for owning their own genetics?
Well, you know, we don't. I mean, the age group is up to the person that can get on the blockchain, right? So what it is let me explain. I can explain to you a little bit more.
I just text you Ron Lack's number just to let you know in your DM. So just check that out.
Oh, okay. Did you speak to him yet?
No. I just tell him King Simon gave you the number when you talk to him when you come.
You tell him Jacob's gonna call you. Or call
I sent the link. He should be watching, but I'll call him tomorrow morning. He's an older guy, but I'll call him tomorrow. But yeah.
So it will be whoever can access the blockchain.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. Well,
so
my brother.
Right now, your data is owned by someone else. Like when you go to 23andMe, someone else owns your data.
Absolutely.
Right? No more.
Exactly. That's what I want. That was the comparison I didn't want to make, because I wanted to the whole 23andMe, and then the genetics testing that they have now is that can go all the way back to your ancestors, which will differentiate where you came from.
What's interesting about what we're doing is we're doing it from a health perspective.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So that people of color can band together.
Right.
And share their information, share their illnesses, share what works for them, share all the stuff, because the medical profession is very interesting in how they apply this. And it's been very much, we know that medical racism exists. Right? They did a study 100%. Recently. They did a study recently as of last year where 45% of nurses that are white said they believe that black people's skin was thicker than white. In 2021, they said this.
That's right.
Because that's a racist stereotype that's happening. Black women dealing with maternity issues, deaths, infant deaths, and all that stuff because of just negligence by white medical professions that have these archaic ways of racist thinking about how black bodies work.
Apparently, we don't feel pain.
We don't feel pain. Our skin is thicker. Apparently, it's a bunch of stuff.
Well, according to what had happened as far as the space travel with Mae Jemisin's, because her bone density was able to take that travel. They also looking at what that's going on. That little test they had with Mae Jemison, that was one of the astronauts that was able to handle her bone density, came back stronger than everybody else on that ship. They also looking at that.
Man, let me explain something. That has nothing to do with it.
Okay. Okay.
I can take you back to the history of where medical racism came from.
I'm sure. Yeah, they got a whole book on medical racism. Yes,
okay,
they do.
Cool. So that
I remember
that's
that.
Just a justification.
Do we need to talk about the first GYN?
Okay.
Oh boy.
Why the GYN existed?
We don't.
We can talk about why it existed. Why it did. We can tell you why to take the baby out the way
exactly. They did. So
you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of reasons. That's very, very anti-women, very anti-black people. Like we can even get deeper, and then I'll just get erratic about it again. Like it just upsets me. At the end of the day, what we have established gives you the ability, like from the most important part for me and for what we're trying to do, and what I spend my entire life doing is working on equity for people of color, right? Like how do we gain our foothold, right? And to turn back to the days of when we were the Mansa Musas and we were the people that dominated, because that's what we are, right? And so to me personally, I'm not going to own poverty. I'm not going to own violence. I'm not going to own all that. Because at the end of the day, the violence, I mean, like if you go to the history, the more they peel back history, the more learning, they found out why it was so easy for the Europeans to dominate the Native Americans and other people of color, right? They figured out why.
Of course.
Because we had migrated past the need for violence. We had migrated past the need for wars. We had migrated past that. We had we had such a plentiful amount of earth because people fight mostly because of resources.
Right.
So we had moved so far past that, right? That we didn't have the weapons anymore for war. We had weapons purely for hunting. So when they popped up on the shores from their mountainous, cold, wet environments in which they were still fighting for resources.
When they got lost.
And they popped up, we were like, hey, you want medicine? They were like, pow.
Kill them. Yeah.
We were like, wait, what's going on? We had evolved past the need for that.
That's right.
Exactly.
Not that we were weaker. We just had no longer need. There was enough food, enough stuff to grain. We didn't need it. They needed it because their environment didn't have enough. So they still were prepared for it. That's why. So they ran around the world colonizing because they came from a macro environment, right? And we came from a micro environment where we had plentiful. You ever try to grow food in England as opposed to what it feels like growing food here? Try growing food in Greenland, right? So they come from places where it was hard to grow food, right? So they had to come take things. Animals go where there's grass. You don't have enough grass, you don't have enough animals.
Exactly.
And so at the end of the day, we again fell to them because we legitimately just evolved past it. And I want us to now stop perpetuating what they taught us to be, which is micro thinkers, become back who we were, which is macro thinkers, and evolve past that. And that would be the biggest blow to white supremacy, systemic racism, colonizing mentality, boogeyman in our head thing, is for us to evolve past the need of thinking micro and go back to macro. Where we were. That's the most important. That's been what I've been fighting for in my weird way my whole life.
Hey, this is the last question before we go, because well, no, we got things to do. I got things to do too. But Birth Family Search Leah, she just said, will they be able to prescribe us medicine based on our DNA? Yes. Oh, he's shaking his head. Okay. Yeah.
You will be able to share a lot of information amongst ourselves. Researchers, Black doctors will have access. Black medical professionals will have access based on what you give access to. Right? Okay. You will give access to people to be able to study that and be able to provide for you things that you need based on your actual DNA.
Man, wow. Jacob, I want to thank you, man. You wanted to say something? You had something else you want to say?
I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this is such an intriguing.
It's almost 10 o'clock. I know he could go on, but I just want to make sure.
I'm dead ass serious. I knew this would go for a while, so I actually was like, "This gonna go for a while." So I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna block off some time.
Let it rip. Okay. Ask your question. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. This is just so great, and I can't thank you enough for this because this is extremely important, especially for us and women. I have a really deep passion for women and young women who are growing and who are not knowing what to do with their bodies, and so this for me is just like perfect topic to discuss. And so this is just to expound on the last question about DNA. We can now we all know as if we go according to our blood types, and a lot of us apparently don't know what our blood types are, and we don't know what to eat for our blood types and how to actually protect ourselves from how we are, because we're so busy accepting whatever is given to us. So now with that said, would you go only by blood type, every single strand, every single cell, or because I heard you said it is according to the amount of information you give. Now, once the testing is done and once the DNA is given, how is that?
You don't give us the DNA. We know how to digitally code the information that is given about you. So your medical records is what we can code.
Interesting.
But it will be in your wallet. We won't have access to it. Only you will. So think about it like you loading your medical records into a system that knows how to codify your medical records, and it can cross it with them because it's decentralized. It's on the blockchain. Right. So the blockchain don't have one person that controls it. It's controlled by multiple people's computers. That's just randomly going on. Millions of computers going on at one time, right? So not one person can see it but you. You're the only person that will be able to see that information. You share what you want to share.
Huh. Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
So think about it like your medical records.
Yeah.
But deeper.
Deeper than that.
Okay.
My
interesting. Okay.
So
Thank you.
what we spent 3.5 years doing is trying to figure out how to secure it.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And we figured that out.
And now you got it.
Now we figured out how to keep it secure.
Now you got it.
Now you've opened up a whole new window in my brain where I'm looking forward to it so that I can study more into that.
Yes. We will be announcing in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Major announcement about this technology and what we're doing. And we've raised the funding, and we're raising another round of funding so to deploy it even bigger. And the applications is down to mostly anything, right? It's just what we have to do is we have to understand the importance of decentralization is you having control over your data. Everything related to you.
Now, how do I become part of the funding? You know, I'm talking about this thing from the beginning.
The funding is specific.
Okay.
You know, it's like friends and family mode is kind of over.
Okay.
It's more specific now.
Right.
And it's a specific funder matters because it gives it a certain level of credibility, because that funder has something you need, right? So it's like when you get to a certain level of funding, it's like if you make engines and I make wheels and I get in and I make car bodies, it's good for me to fund as the engine guy, the guy that makes wheels on a car body, right?
Of course.
There's that thing.
Of course. Right.
And so that's where we're at that point. Okay. But you know, there's opportunities for other stuff, but you know, within the space, I'm just saying for this particular thing.
Right, it's already
because we're looking at possibly being public by the end of the year.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Well,
right, because we want to mass adopt really high, because we would need to make sure, because you know what somebody's going to do is come in and be like, oh, let me, you know, because there is the ability also to we're deploying like a beauty product, hair products based on this technology also. But based on that technology, you'll be able to codify someone's hair, really know what Beyonce hair looks like, right? And what's going on in it, right? From a real perspective and not just from a picture, right? And be able to know what exactly people are using, what her hair type is, what's this, what's that, and how it affects by this particular products and that product, and creating products to best suit that from an artificial intelligence point of view. Right? That's what, there's AI technology in this that actually moves way faster than what we can possibly do. And we have a bunch of Black hairstylists and, you know, people that's actually working to create products based on this. Right. So there is a commercial application. Right. But we wanted to make sure that the people controlled their information. So when the commercial applicants come, you're deploying it and not
somebody else. Right.
When you're on Facebook and you're doing this and they say, hey, look, this person just said Target, send them multiple ads. Right. You have that control now over your data. So you can direct whatever you want to come to. And so I'm being very specific and I'm being obscure at the same time, because there was a patent actually put in last year by a major company. It's not the same thing, but there's a commercial application that they're trying to do. They just don't know that's why we're rushing to the finish line to announce, because we've already got the whole genetic everything down packed already. We were just trying to like wait for the right time, and they filed an application for the commercial portion of it, which means that, you know, they're trying to develop that technology just to be able to sell you more stuff on Amazon. Of course. Did I say that name loud? I did.
You said, you did say that. Well, Jake, I want to thank you very much for coming on, man. I really appreciate you 1,000%, brother. And I can't wait till we talk more off of this offline. I want to definitely get in somewhere, get in where I fit in, like we usually do.
I'm ready to do it, my brother. We should talk.
I'm definitely down, brother, because hey, money is coming in like good, and I'm enjoying it. So
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. People, family, please hit them up on IG, or hit them up at, of course, Electric Republic, or hit them up at, of course, Electric Token NFT, and of course, My Canna Consultant. That's the big thing also with the DNA. of course, I just gave him a number to Ron Lax. I'm gonna call Ron Lax and tell him to contact you, and watch out for your call or text. You can text him, and all of that from Henrietta Lax's family. Jake, I want to thank you, man, and the whole family that came on, man. Love and honor all the time, man. You know I love you and respect you.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
Thank you. Next time we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do a whole nother thing. All right.
Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you don't mind. I'm going to DM you or send you a message.
I respond.
Yes, he does respond. Believe me. All right. Peace, bro. Peace. All right. Peace. That's my brother Jacob. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Woo, man, a lot of information. Since he was young, he's been a wealth of information, so I'm proud of him. Yeah. We are proud of him. Yes.
We're very proud of him.
Man, thank you. Yes. Yes, appreciate it.
Him on.
Yes,
thank you. This was incredible.
Great job, man. That's man.
That's just what you do.
Man, I'm happy about the brother, man. We known him since we was teenagers. I've known him since we was teenagers. I'm just elated to see what he's doing, and I'm happy, of course, with his film production talent. If you want to contact him, if you got scripts or you want to really produce some stuff, submissions at electricrepublic.com. Talent management, film, TV production. Matter of fact, I spoke to his other brother Ishmael, and I was earlier, so more than likely I'm gonna try to get him. He worked with Joe and a lot of different artists, so we're gonna see if we can get him on. He told me to call him back, so we're gonna make sure we make that happen, my brother. And again, to the whole York family, the whole York clan, big up to all of y'all, man, that are doing great things out there in the world. Of course, Leia, who we had on before. I think I don't think you I don't know if you was there with Burt Family Search when I had Leia on. She handles the whole Burt family, finding your family through DNA and all that kind of stuff. That's his sister also. We had her on, and so we're gonna work on a few of them, but bring them a few of them on, because I know a lot of them are doing some big major things, man. I'm trying to get Fatima, because I know she's into the hair care and all that. So big up to the twin sister of Yadalahi, the late great Yadalahi. So big up to her. Would love to get in. I know she's in Paris. I think she's in right now. So big up to her. But that was a great show. That was a great show. And thank you for coming on.
Going.
Huh? Again?
I said we could have kept going.
Yeah, with him we could do a marathon. That's how much information he got.
It's good. It's good. I like it. And it was it's great things. He's doing really great things, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of him. I support it.
Me too, and of course, big up to Sister Nujurney who couldn't make it on again.
Yes.
It's all right. It's all good. I know she's probably in our shit bed right now.
I know.
Got laying down with our foot cock up. Foot cock up. In our bed. I do our thing,
I'm sure she's watching, and she's just like,
yeah, and I'm in bed. And if you want to find out more about as he's putting up information on there, this is for the DNA, for the info about the DNA ownership. Yes. Go to his IG at MyCanna Consultant. That's MyCanna Consultant. Enough respect to that. Again, give that a round of applause. Man, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
So honored. That brother there, man. He's grown into being such an entrepreneur, and I'm glad there was no other drama around there. I don't bring no drama, so I like that when there's no drama. Oh wow, hey. Oh, big up Jamila. Jamila just hit me up. I don't think he wants to hear that, but he knows he's brilliant. Don't worry about it. He knows he's brilliant. Big up to him. Big up Jamila from out of Washington, D.C., old Ansar Law community family. Big up to her. I know her for many years. She just texted me, so she must have watched the show. Big up. And big up to Ancestral Gifts, who made this for me back in the 90s, my little poncho thing, when I used to perform in my reggae shows, and just used to have a good time with this. I performed recently in a reggae show with this same outfit, man. I went and found it. I said, it's going to give me back some energy again. And I went on this show. I said, yeah, lot of mercy. Had a good time on that stage.
Awesome.
Somebody said this is one of the very best shows. Thank you very much. Increase Ashe. Yeah, please share, like, because this is very this was very informative to show you what kind of energy this young man has. And like I said, I've known him since we was teenagers and stuff back in the day. So I'm proud that he's doing his work, and his family, whoever's doing the work, positive work out there, I will support them 1000%, because it was his father that told me anytime and named me Shadi, and every time I needed to be happy, he said I should sing or listen to positive music, and that's the truth. That has definitely helped me. So big up to Dr. York. I gotta shout him out. Big up to Dr. York. He, no matter what he's going through now, he definitely helped me out. Saved my life with the information as Imam Isa back in the day. So enough respect to him. And moving forward, okay, so we got to close out. Let me get these things going on. We got to get these. We ain't got that many announcements, so we good. You know, we got that. We're gonna do our prayers and all that kind of stuff, but we ain't got that many announcements. So let me make sure. Before we got prayer time, family. So if y'all want to pray with us, we got a prayer to shut out with. But I just want to let everybody know, of course, anyone, of course, this is the team. This is the team right here. Give them a round of applause. The team in the building. We might just come up on Sunday and just talk some mess. Have a topic. See if they're gonna come up with a topic. I'm gonna let them create the topic, and if they want to talk about it, I'm gonna let these two ladies talk about it on Sunday. We can do whatever we got to do. Big up to my dear friend Paris Williams. We did something great yesterday on our both channels. We had a good time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Numerovation and Tarot. So yes, we had a fun time. So great. You want to do a double consultation? All you have to do is text that word double 347-496-1022. 15 minutes each from both of us, and it's pre-taped just for guidance purposes only for the new year and whatever. You know, with her, you just have to tell her if you're dealing with love, relationship, business, and me, you just give me your numbers and I'm going in. I'm gonna have some fun with it. And of course, my dear sister here, Sensei Sherly, doing her thing. If you are in the New York tri-state area and you need some free life insurance, this sister can hook you up. It's free life insurance, right, sister? Just want to make sure it's free life insurance. Is that correct?
The consulting is free. It's not life insurance, it's health insurance. Health insurance. It could be free if they are, if a person is qualified.
If they're qualified, okay.
But what I do is help to consult people to get the free health insurance as much as possible. But it also depends on your household income and household size.
There it is. So make sure you email her at sherlystc@gmail. sherlystc@gmail. Let me promote one more thing. Lloyd, this is definitely paid advertisement. Bring up the Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Get his books, take his class, get his newsletter. That's one of my teachers, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Respect to him. Also, of course, my classes are moved up an extra $100. It's $333 now. The early bird price is over. It's no longer $222.22. It's $333 right now. So if it's 8 hours and it's a 9-phase course, 2 links, it's raw, uncut, chalkboard, and PowerPoint course, holistic numerovation course. Believe me, it's worth it 100%. And on Udemy, they're gonna be selling just an hour and a half for like $109. So it is what it is. So then we got a deal to give up. But also, if you want my books, boom, there it is. King Simon the Numerovator at Linktree. Go to King Simon the Numerovator at Linktree. And if you want to do a session with me, I do have a late waiting list. I think I got 12 slots left in February. I'm all the way in February already. Text me your full name and date of birth, 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And we will hook you up. All right, now it's time for the disclaimer. You can say this disclaimer first. Go ahead, beautiful.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcaster and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised.
That's right. And disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So all that you heard, that's what we dealing with. All right. Now we're getting ready for the prayer, family. Everybody, we got Dr. Delbert Blair's prayer. We're gonna shout out Dr. Delbert Blair right now. Gotta shout out Dr. Delbert Blair. Those who want to support his legacy center, please go to Dr. Delbert Blair. He has the diodes up there. He has the magnets for healing back, magnets for the back and all that, Faraday tech for your computer. He got his books also on sale. The diodes are for the phone and also the computer to lower the energy, to help the frequency and all that. Thank you, Jamila, once again for shouting me out. Thank you. And so please support the website. That's www.themetacenter2.com. That's www.themetacenter2.com. I did have a dream about him like a couple days ago. So he was teaching as usual, always teaching me when I'm coming in dreams. So I know I got some stuff in my head, some spiritual stuff from Dr. Blair. You always coming to teach me, man. So big up to Blair. This is the prayer. You ready, my sister? You ready?
Yes.
After you done
yes.
Unmute yourself. You're going to say it twice in Sister Nujurney's voice. No, don't say her voice. And your voice. So say it twice and then I'll say the last. Go ahead, my beautiful sister.
Alrighty. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. I tried to do Sister Nujurney, but that wasn't working.
No, that was not working.
It wasn't working.
It didn't work.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go, say your voice now.
Another deep breath. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now.
Yes, and now I'm going to bring it in from the third time. We do things in threes over here. Please, universal creator, know in our hearts that we love you. Please protect us and this planet on which we live now. Please open up our minds, our spirits, and our souls to receive only truth and your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, Dr. Blair. I know you've never met him, but he was a good brother, my sister. He was a good brother, good brother. He would have loved you because he loved Spanish and Haitian music. That's one thing he loved. I took him to SOBs. I had somebody take him to SOBs, and he had a good time at SOBs.
Oh, good.
And he was like 80 years old when he went, and he was dancing up a storm. He was like 79, 80. Yeah, he was all that age, 79 or 80 years old, and he had a good time.
Life doesn't stop just because you get to that point.
So I was so happy that Dr. Blair got to experience that with me in New York, courtesy of me because of the club. I know the owner there, and they hooked him up. So that was a good. I couldn't make it out, but I had a friend of mine take her out. They was good friends to her sister, and they had a good dancing time. Because him and his wife, who passed on before him, used to dance in Spanish and Haitian music, all that stuff back in the day. More Spanish. He loves Spanish a lot. Definitely love a lot of Spanish music. So enough respect to him. You know, he loves the salsa. Tito Puente and Gilberto and all those guys, man, and Joe Cuba and all those people. So big up to him.
La Reina de
Salsa. Yes, and Celia La Cruz. I met Celia La Cruz, man. Celia La Cruz gave me such a big hug, man. Simon! She grabbed me and said, Simon! That's the voice. She was so strong, like my grandmother. She reminded me of my grandmother. So
if I could meet someone in the past, it would have been her. Yeah.
Oh, you would love Celia La Cruz. She born October 21st. She's a custom Libra and Scorpion. Yeah, Libra Scorpio. She's definitely right there. Man, Celia La Cruz, man. And she was just a guy. And she had the big hair, and we was just standing there in SOBs in the office. He said, and the owner said, this is Celia La Cruz. I said, I had to go like this, and she just grabbed me, Simon. And I met Gil Scott Heron, very good. That was one of the best. Another good one, because he gave me 2 of his books and said, young brother, do you read? I said, yes, sir. And he gave me 2 of his books signed, and he gave me 2 of his books. Big up to both of those ancestors. All of those ancestors. Tito Puente, all of them. Celia La Cruz, Gil Scott Heron, all of that. Big up to all of them, you know, enough respect. And thank you very much for coming in late, no matter how you came in. Want to say condolences, of course. I didn't get to say condolences to James M. Toomey, who was a great producer, radio personality, and also Judge Bob Pickett, who used to be on the same radio show with him. He just passed on yesterday from KISS FM, WBLS, KISS FM, and all those different stations. And big up to Fatim and all of them over at WBLS, Shayla, Sherly and I went to Martin Luther King High School back in the day. So, she's a radio personality still on WBLS, also LIB. So my condolences go out to all the family of Bob Pickett, the late great Bob Pickett, and M. Toomey, James M. Toomey. And of course, I can't forget our brother Jesse, who was part of the Force MDs. He mentioned earlier, before you came on, he mentioned Chunky Fresh, who was part of the Force MDs, Khalil. His name is Khalil Lundy, but Jesse just died and transitioned. So enough respect to their family. I know they just had something, and they just had a big salute on TV1 to all of the people that transitioned, Cindy Portier and everybody, Bob Saget, and all the great people that's been transitioning lately. And we all going to go down that road. Just make sure you do something great before you go down that road. Put it like that. That's all I can say. Are you willing to wait in the backstage until we finish?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hold on. Everybody give her a round of applause. Sensei, don't go changing to try to please me. I'll talk to you in a few. Okay. Hold on. All right. Sensei in the building, Sensei Sherly, and of course, big up to Nujurney, Sister Nujurney, who couldn't be on at this time. So enough respect to that. All of y'all that came on, thank y'all very much for tuning in and being a part of the journey. Want to thank all of y'all for tuning in and being a part of the journey. All right. So thank y'all very much. Thank y'all very much for coming in. Remember, family, regardless of land, label, or language, like Dr. Khalid says, there is but one creative force. All right? And like in the mortal words of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, up, you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. We love you. We respect you. And if you respect us and love us, don't be afraid to spread love the Cash App way and the PayPal way, if you must. All right. So I'll put that up here and close out with that. All right. Once again, want to thank Jacob York for allowing us for coming and enjoying a great show with Jacob York. Make sure you share, and like Jacob York tore the place up. This is his information right here. This is his website right here. And this is another form of his IG right there. So show him some love, spread love to him the Brooklyn way, because that's where we came from, out of Brooklyn. All right. So support the Carbon Royalty. That's right. Carbon Melanated Royalty. Cash App, $ King Simon 3158. And of course, paypal.me/King Simon. Thank y'all very much again. I love you because I love myself. And because I love myself, I love you. That's Ring in the background. So it rang just in time when I said it. All right. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, family. Be safe. Be strong. Stay healthy. And keep a healthy mindset wherever you are on this planet Earth, all 196,940,000 square miles of it. Peace! Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Number are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.